Back to the upside we go here this morning to kick things off on a Monday that could be an important week for the overall market ahead of the Fed coming up on Wednesday. We'll get the latest from Fed Chair Powell. We'll get a look at what the Fed is planning for the remainder of this year. I just had a look. We're still hovering around that 2, possibly 3 cuts to come still before the end of the year. Cautiously optimistic here. The market is to kick things off, 0.85 to the upside right now for the Nasdaq. Lots of individual names to talk about this morning. I was actually just keeping an eye on Reddit. Saw a note there. Reddit is now the most quoted source for Gemini and Google AI, according to SEMrush. So there's a nice RDDT 2.25 move to new highs anyways on the morning after a pretty good day to end the week back on Friday. New regulations should help Tesla as well. Back to the upside here this morning. Pretty good day on Friday. We did sell off into the close, but testing that high right now. Lots to consider ahead of the Fed on Wednesday, but I think there's still some time here for the market to kind of figure out what's going on in the Middle East first, and then we'll worry about Fed Chair Powell. And
a lot of people are saying that next GDP print could come in a lot higher than expectations. Brendo, we saw the jobs report last time, and inflation not really reflect a lot of the tariffs, so we'll continue to go into strength. There's a lot to talk about, as you mentioned today. So Tesla in focus as their robotaxi event gets a lot closer. June 22nd is an expected launch. Google cutting all ties with Scale AI after the Meta acquisition. Amazon in focus here as well, Brendo. Big investment out in Australia, their biggest ever. China retail sales out, and it was a good look over there. And as you mentioned, Roku up high single digits here, but already selling off a bit.
Yeah, I found it on the weekend. Kathy Wood apparently still owns a lot of Roku, so she'll be liking things so far this morning. Here's NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA over in Europe this morning, touting their, what was it, AI sovereignty or sovereign AI or something along those lines as well. So we'll see what Jensen has to say over in Europe, enjoying the summertime in Europe, I imagine. But big down day on Friday, so a lot of things for the bounce back here so far this morning. Happy Monday, guys.
Yeah, and for the markets, so far it is a happy Monday, no questions asked. We'll see how it ends up. Obviously, we got a good start here. The litany of things that are breaking out right now: Palantir all-time high, Circles all-time highs pretty much every single day because it's a recent IPO. So it's a good relief rally. It's only like, we're only at 0.8%, but when you consider with everything going on geopolitically, you'll take what you can get. Tesla looking super strong, up a couple of points. So I think it's obviously going to be in play. It's got a breakout up the top, and we'll probably look to some dip buying in Tesla as well. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to come in with what's going on, obviously all around the world, and be a little bit surprised that we're doing as strongly as we are, but it's a resilient market here so far today.
Yeah, I think that we didn't get the sort of unbelievable sort of tension escalation over the weekend, which is nice, obviously, as we get ready. But welcome, everybody. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It was great weather around here, so I think everybody in the GTA probably did quite well. I just have NVIDIA up here. It's up 1%. It's the Nasdaq is really starting to go here. A little bit of a pullback right now. That's the ES coming back in still over 6,000, which is pretty incredible. I was wondering if we can get to 22,000 here on the Nasdaq today. But yeah, up 0.8. We were only down after all those tensions. I thought it was like 1.4% or something on Friday, and then you almost make it all the way back. So we're not doing too bad right now. And then oil, we talked about this one as well. We'll go over to the July feed right now, back in a little bit, $71. I think it was as high as 73, 74 there over those tensions. So right into there, $74. And now coming back in and actually looking to break below where we were right there on Friday's lows. So this is a trade too happening right now, the breakdown in oil. So I think that there's a few things going on. Yeah, a lot of people talking about AMD on the chat. They catch that upgrade today. So there's going to be that going, and we're always looking at 120. How low did that one get? Yeah, that got to 115. So there's some great look. Whenever you're down like that on a day, and you come back in, and the whoopsies, and the market is up, you are going to get a nice rebound from that. So my chart, I just closed it by accident, so now it's gone. So we'll have
so strong it blew up the chart.
Yeah, and then I did want to look at Palantir today too.
140.
Wow, 140. Yeah. Needless to say, all-time highs. Open up at all-time highs for Palantir. definitely looking for pullbacks on this name today, but this continues to want to work. So, oil is the big one, I think, trying to break through that bottom. Let me just call that up one more time. And this is the trade that I'm looking at today, oil breaking lower through where, well, we're going to do it right now. So there it is. It just broke right now. So there goes oil breaking through 71.50, down 71.40. We'll see where this one goes, but down 2% today. So it's giving, back a little bit there, and the tension in the Middle East, obviously, oops, I want to type in gold, obviously still there, but seems like if we're using oil as a look, gold back in as well today. So, the equity markets are up and some of the flight to safeties are down. So I think that that's pretty good. But yeah, should be a fun day. You mentioned you guys went to Cirque du Soleil. That sounded like fun. I still want to do that.
Anyone that's never been to see Cirque du Soleil, if you're into that sort of thing, it is an absolute blast. Kids all loved it. Some of the acts they have, it's like, who even thinks? I'll get to pictures later, but like some of the acts they have at Cirque du Soleil, like just the ingenuity to even think about trying some of the stuff that they pull off is completely nuts. Tell my daughter, I'm like, this is what it goes to show, like, spend their entire lives, like, practicing and getting that good at something. Like, they're all probably there's a lot of former gymnasts, I'm assuming.
Oh, I mean,
when you look at it, it's like, they would basically have to be. But a lot of fun, too. Very family-friendly as well. So if you've never been, I urge you to check them out. Here in Toronto, the new one's called OVO.
Yeah. We just haven't had a chance to go. I've wanted to go there. You spend your weekend outside there, Randy?
Nice.
Yard work.
Nice.
Flower beds and gardens.
Were you able to get the barbecue going?
Got the barbecue going.
Always have to.
Got just nice weather finally. 10 degrees this morning, but
What?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're Celsius. 50 Fahrenheit. 77.
We'll take that.
We'll take it.
It's getting hot this week, though.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So
Apparently the mic isn't even on. So apparently, I don't know how much you guys caught of that, but it's 10 degrees from the morning, and then we get up to a nice balmy, probably mid-20s today.
Yeah.
Sure. But you got the barbecue open, which is all that matters. Kids do anything fun?
No.
Well, for you, obviously.
Oh, yeah, Father's Day.
Yeah,
Got
of course.
some stuff. Got some spices and,
Oh, nice spices. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Peri
spice.
peri spices and chipotle spices and stuff to put on hamburgers.
It's 17 degrees
pasta
right now.
salads.
Yeah, the burgers aren't going to season themselves.
Is this working now?
Are we on?
Maybe.
There's this
live?
SRM
Yeah.
here company.
Super.
Yeah, it's working.
You want coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Look at
You
my-
sure?
It's a farmer's tan like crazy over
I'll take
here.
that. I'll take that.
It's not that bad, but it just looks bad on the. Okay, nice
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was just out on the baseball field all weekend, so yeah,
You gotta do the Belichick.
You want to go topless there. But this SRM here, SRM Entertainment entered some sort of a purchasing agreement here with a couple $1 million, maybe only $1 million. Oh, there it is. Share trading higher if the company entered a purchase agreement with a private investor for a $100 million equity investment. Which is used to initiate a Tron token treasury strategy.
Uh-oh.
So they're going into Tron coin right here.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds like a great idea.
Going to any coin, this is potentially what happens. So I have no idea what's going on with Tron, but there goes SRM right now. Closed in at $1.50. They're putting some money into Tron coin. SRM gets $100 million here in equity investment. So sending this name to the moon here early for SRM. So yeah, man, lots of stuff going on. Yeah, nothing could go wrong with Tron coin at all. This is probably a great investment. So SRM up nicely here, pulling back just a little bit. Yeah, but lots of names on watch here today. So we're definitely excited for all that. But a hard pass for me on Tron.
Tron, maybe not.
And Bitcoin's only at 107, so we didn't quite get to that 12 area that we were looking at there. Yeah, the Phillies did whoop the Jays' ass this weekend, but we had got them before. So
Philly's a good team.
Philly is a good team. Yeah.
I always say this anytime the Jays lose to Philly or play Philly, it's like the one team that I mind the least losing to is Philly. When the Jays beat them in the World Series, Philly were like Jays fans loved the Philly players. They were a heck of a lot of fun, like Cardinals players and all that. And then they're basically neighbors in spring training. So, whatever.
That's why they play each other.
Yeah,
so
that's why we play each other. And it's kind of small rivalry, but not that much. But tonight, Game 5, big one.
it's the only guaranteed National League team we play every year.
Yeah, it's a semi.
The more you know.
It's a semi-rivalry.
Yeah, I think it is a rivalry. I think it's a good one. There we go. Always trying to drop some nice. You ask for it. Andre has it so quickly.
He doesn't play around. All
right. Well, the more we know, the better we get. And if Michael Noss is here today, then I'm sure there's more we're about to know coming up.
Maybe about Tron Coin.
Yes. And again, didn't get a chance to message yesterday, but happy Father's Day, Mr. Michael Noss. We want to say a big happy Father's Day there to Michael. Belated, but only one day missed. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, okay. And then this Thursday we have Juneteenth. So a little bit of a
holiday short
midweek. Yeah, midweek holiday doesn't happen often, if happens at all, really. July 4th, I think, is
July 4th
Friday again.
Is it?
I thought I was looking that up.
You can be right. I haven't. Yeah, you're right. I haven't checked.
Well, there's the more you know again right there, Andre. Let's go again on that one.
Did they do the half day on the 3rd because of that?
No, the more I don't know. I would think that.
Now I have no idea.
I'm not sure it's a half day on the Thursday, but we'll figure out. But all right, let's get rocking and rolling here. Let's go over to the desk. We'll work on some notes and we'll get them out, and it should be fun. Shortened week, but midweek holiday. Hey, Fabian.
And the Fed, baby.
Yeah, and
not that they're doing anything.
What would you say?
Fed.
Oh, the Fed on Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday,
Yeah. The more you know about that too is. Then you realize it might not mean anything.
No change.
There we go. Wow, this is happening a lot today. We're very educational oriented.
Hold it. It is an early close on the 3rd.
Yes.
They always do that?
All right. Normally they do. Normally they'll close earlier before a holiday, but I didn't realize that was happening on July 3rd. So that's good, man.
Good to know.
No after show that day. Okay, we'll go over to the desk and see what the boys are up to.
I just keep my eye on DJT moving around here a little bit this morning, guys. Trump organization unveils quote-unquote T1 smartphone starting at $499, going to be available in September. So watch out for your Trump phone coming to a Best Buy near you in September. I don't know. I'm just quoting. It's literally Trump organization unveils T1, which you learned is Tier 1. Smartphone at $499, available in September.
Anything guy doesn't make?
No.
Or anything he doesn't have his hand in?
He's the best at it. As the guys were teeing up there, Michael Noss is standing by and is going to join us and talk a little bit about not only. Good to see you, Michael Noss, first of all. Happy Father's Day, as Sean was mentioning there, belated.
Thank you, and happy Father's Day to all the dads there.
Definitely, it's been a wild couple of weeks here. Lots of macro headlines, lots of reasons to be worried, I guess, or a little bit concerned. Not just from a technical standpoint, not just from where the market is overall, but you throw in these other factors, and I think a lot of people are wondering what to do at this point. You went back and had a look at some prior data surrounding some of these Middle East conflicts and what tends to happen to the market after that. What did you find?
Yeah, and I think this is important to do on times like this. And one of the beauty of technical analysis is we can just go back on the chart and look, because obviously, there's a lot to for our people to panic about. There's a lot of craziness that's going on in the market. But if we are traders, we believe that kind of price will guide us, and that if the market is panicking, that we should see that in price, and if the market's not panicking, we should also see that in price. So it's trying to divorce what's happening in the real world versus kind of what's happening in the stock market. So this idea for this kind of presentation all lent off with this tweet that I made that got people a little riled up. I thought it was a bit of a benign tweet, but I got 107 replies, and probably only 50 of those were bots, which if you're on Twitter, that's actually a crazy ratio. And I just kind of said, this is the weekly candle, and 163,000 people viewed this. There was a lot of heated debate in the comment. Just said, look, we didn't move very much knowing this was going to happen. So that again, got everyone a little bit riled up. Again, I think there's a lot of news fatigue going on where people are seeing a lot of kind of the horrible things that are happening and thinking that that should be reflected in the stock price. So I went back and I grabbed the last 5 kind of major events that happened in the Middle East and just marked them on a chart and looked at what happened the last couple of days. So this is the first candle after October 7th. I think we were all around for that. I'll describe the other ones a little bit more, but you can see not a lot, right? Not a lot of crazy down move after this, not a lot of crazy up move after this. After this chart is done, we did pull back a little bit before shooting higher, but that was a couple weeks later, so could have been related to something else. But this was right the Monday after October 7th, and you can see the market did nothing for a number of days. This next one here is the Yemeni civil war in 2016. I didn't remember this one off the top of my head. A little bit young for that there, I guess. But you can see not a lot of action, not crazy up moves, not crazy down moves, just nothing, just normal kind of choppy market action. The next one here is the Syrian civil war, and this one marked a low the day that it happened, but it wasn't, the next couple days is I think what we should focus on. Wasn't that crazy. The day after that was an inside day, and then the day after that we closed inside the range there as well. And then this last one, I don't have marked for what this was, but there was another event in the Middle East in 2006. Now, this one we had a little bit of a down move, and then we were up a little bit later. So the main takeaway I want to kind of give everyone is that for the overall market, there doesn't seem to be any sort of an edge of, okay, if this situation gets worse, I want to short. If this situation gets better, I want to buy. There was kind of no discernible patterns I could see from this in any way, shape, or form, which means that at least for this case, and for, we're talking just trading and investing, we should kind of turn off the news and focus on what we're seeing. The other aspects of the market seem like they're going to be more important. Like when I was in the green room, I saw the guys mention FOMC. That seems like it's probably going to have more of an impact on the market than this. Now, doesn't mean there isn't sectors of the market. We see oil going crazy. Gold might be an interesting place to watch. There may be areas of the market that are interesting, but it just shows that when you see a headline like this, I'm kind of encouraging the audience to do this as well. Just go and Google when are the last major events that have happened and go look at the chart before you kind of make a decision that could be kind of emotional, impulsive, and maybe lead you in the wrong direction.
All that said, and valid points, if we put some of these macro issues aside and we put, the Fed aside and all these headlines that we've had over the past couple of weeks, and just purely look at, from a technical standpoint at the overall market right now, we seem to be struggling a little bit here, trying to not only get back to highs, but maybe trying to breach those highs as well. We said, going back 2 or 3 weeks ago on this show, earnings have come and gone. This is going to be the FOMC that will maybe paint a picture for the remainder of the year. Might not as well. But the market seems to be really looking for that next reason to kind of get going here again and maybe test those highs. Yeah,
and I think honestly, I think this is kind of healthy action. The more that you base under highs, the more you're kind of chewing through this this supply that's above us from these all-time highs. The more you're getting chance for shorts to unwind and for longs to unwind that are finally back to even after being for a long time. And this can create a lot of choppy action. Could be maybe on Friday what I'll go over is when the market hits new all-time highs after a bear market, it's rarely clean. And I think it's because one of those, the more people are looking at a zone, the more choppy we can be around that zone. But I agree, it's going to be some sort of event that gets us to and through these highs, maybe a trade deal that's finalized and signed, maybe something like that. But just some event just to push us through the all-time highs, and then maybe we can continue the trend after that.
As you were saying, from a technical standpoint, it'd be interesting to kind of see, like the last time that we were in this situation, how long did it actually take before, within a 5% range from all-time highs, how long did it take before we actually got that next leg either up or down? Because at this point, we really don't know. Great stuff as always. Michael Moss, we'll see you again after the close.
I'll talk to you after the close.
Looking forward to it for sure, Michael. That's sort of the thing, and we had sort of talked about that last week with regards to even with the war in Ukraine, like where a lot of times we get it when it's really bad and the news is bad. You really expect, the market should reflect the world. The market market does reflect the economy in some sense, but it's not like this one-to-one that we get. So like, think a lot of the things that the themes and things that were strong before, kind of you go right back into the well to look at those. The Qs are so close. You know, we're just a stone's throw. Like what is going to get us over the hump? Which trade deal is it going to be? That's obviously a question mark. That it doesn't even really matter what takes us to the highs. As far as I'm concerned, you look for like the continuation. In a bull market, you're usually buying dips, and we'll see. Like, it's Friday resistance on the Nasdaq seems almost inevitable to test, and we saw that come in. It was like on the Qs here, it's like 532, but I think we get a good test of that in here today. And a few names on the long side that we do like. We've already talked a little bit about Tesla. We'll get into some of the chips as well, but there's still headlines to be watched, of course. If we get more escalations, you can still see volatility in oil, in gold, in travel names can still move around based on that as well. So it doesn't mean ignore the headlines whatsoever, but try to make sure you play with the trend, because if you fight the trend too much, you get in trouble.
Here's the other one, Sarepta down 40% here after another
ugly.
liver failure linked to its gene therapy treatment. So, if you're looking for downside here today, down 40% right there, Sarepta. And not looking, I mean, it's been obviously been going through some things here. Wow, some big time things. Oh God, I'm going to sneeze again.
Bless you.
All right, thankfully we got that one. But yeah, breaking through that $50 mark is not a great level right there. We kind of got back up to there at 60. Now you drop down. Now you're all the way down into $27 for Sarepta. So whether or not this gets upgraded or downgraded, it is down right now on, again, an unfortunate death there in Elevides. I don't know, the rare muscular dystrophy treatment that they have there. So sad that that's going to the downside, but another mover there, because we just talked about that SRM stock that was really starting to rip up here on Tron, the world's richest man, coming in there with that coin. So we'll have to wait to see what's going on here, as their treasury raised $100 million here to go with Tron coin, apparently. So that name's starting to go, and tons of volume, 15 million shares. All right, let's go find out from Adara what's been up or downgraded.
There's some interesting ones today. We'll start here with AMD. This one you can find a little bit more about in our watch list, getting a positive note from Piper Sandler and a $140 price target. Celsius here with an upgrade from TD Cowen. They're up about 9% this morning. Cisco here with a Deutsche Bank upgrade, and Hinge Health getting upgraded by Raymond James. On the downgrade side of things, we're a downgrade for CoreWeave, one of our recent IPOs here. B of A Securities giving this one a negative note. Sarepta, as just mentioned there, down 41%. H.C. Wainwright giving this one a downgrade with a $10 price target. Angie here getting downgraded by Citizens JNP. And last but not least, Freshpet with a UBS downgrade. Back to you.
Yeah, like the chips for some strength, and AMD, kind of fits that bill. I'll be looking at Micron, maybe some NVIDIA today, but CoreWeave on the other hand with that downgrade. Now there's something that, I didn't pay for locates on this, but I'm probably going to go ahead and do it, just because the last week, its trend, look, it's been an upward trend, but its trend was decidedly sloped to the downside after making a fresh high at 165 back on the 4th. And this is another one. Circle, big IPO, big run, CoreWeave, just insane rallying since their IPO breakout, which, the breakout happened in May, like mid-May, but yeah, super strong rally. It feels like it's on the other side of things, at least temporarily. This might be an interesting one, because 155 looks pretty good. I'm glad that one showed up on the list. One at least had the locates ready in case it just starts failing that lower high and trends down like it was last week. So, if you're going back to square one, before we had the geopolitical news and wanted to play trend, well, kind of have to look at it in both ways. So like that downgrade on CoreWeave, obviously, to me, if it breaks out 155, like a recent high, I think you want to get out of its way, because we've seen what it can do when it's bullish.
Yeah, for me, I think CoreWeave is showing just how bullish it is. I'm going to stay away from the short on that one. The fact that it was downgraded and it's double what the market is to the upside is going to be a pretty hard pass for me. I'm looking right now, I'm going to put this on. It should be on the sticky note pretty soon. XOM downside. It's not on the upgrades or downgrades, but I'm going to downgrade oil names today, just based on what we saw with oil breaking a little bit lower there. And you get XOM that showed up right to its 200 period moving average if and when this loads up. Yeah, right there at 112. And you're coming right into some past support, well, resistance, but should be support, and looks like it's trying to break it right now. So we got a nice upside play, and now we're trying to come back in a little bit. So I'm going to be shorting XOM today. I already talked about Sarepta. That was downgraded on the other side. AMD is going to be on my sticky note as well, so we're going to be going all over that. But I think the oil sector today definitely at risk of a lower push. So yeah, I'm going to be looking here for XOM into 112. We'll see if that can happen. That's where VWAP is. That's where the 200 period moving average is. So ExxonMobil on watch today, and we'll be on the note just a matter of minutes. Eli Lilly, something about them. Wow, 8:30. One of the best moves, honestly, for me was getting more Eli Lilly down near that 750 marker. Seems to have broken out like a lot from there. We'll see. Took out the 50 period moving average and now going higher. So, you know, now $75 in the money off that. So that's a 10% move higher right there. So making okay. It's kind of a 1-to-1 wash there with Google and Eli Lilly, because I have so much money on the sideline. It's not like I swapped one for the other, but the same day that I sold Google, I did go into Eli Lilly. So it's kind of one and the same there. But yeah, I like that. A flat pricing announcement there. Capping monthly costs at $4.99 for Zepbound. It just said capping monthly costs at $4.99. So I don't know what the costs were before, but right there, nice break. Opening up above 825 would be interesting there for Eli Lilly, breaking through yesterday, Friday's top. So, okay, yeah, Circle, Arrow, AIRO was upside. It's fallen back in quite nicely there, but was up to $36 here in the pre-market, now back to 30. So this is a recent IPO as well. And then I think this VOYG, because it's a space name, space defense name, I mean, you thought this would have been up more than it is maybe right now, but definitely another interesting name to look at. And then, of course, Palantir is above, still going higher, so we'll have to wait for that one. But all right, let's go back over the desk now and see what's going on. We have our watch list. We have lots of stuff to talk about.
We're going to talk about Meta coming up here, but apparently Zuck just posting 620. What was that on?
620 on Instagram, yeah.
Or on Instagram.
Yeah. Something
happening with Meta on 620. SONM, another one just flying around right now, popped up in front of me here. Sonim Technologies getting an unsolicited bid from Doogie. I'm not making this up. $3.60 per share. Is that how you would say that? I don't know.
I think so,
Doogie?
yeah. I rarely say the names of these small cap gappers, Brendo. Yeah. Just spit out the tickers. Yeah.
SONM, anyway, $3.60 potential bid there for that one. Let's have a look at the market here to get going.
All right, we sold off quite aggressively, guys, on Friday. 59.80, that's where the ES June contract closed off. We're well above that level right now. We're above 6,000, which is a level that we've been kind of a little above, a little bit below the last couple of weeks, with the overnight high being 60.24. So we're printing 60.19 right now. Let's see if we can defend that 6,000 point area as our first level of support. If we give it up, we're really looking at 59.50. That's a second level of support. If we clear the overnight high, 60.24, as our resistance, we're looking at 60.50, excuse me, as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Make sure you take some time, jump down to the description of this video. Top link there will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Absolutely free from us to you every single morning. Comes right to your inbox. All you need is your email address. Top of said watch list today, or at least one of them. Tesla here, right back to the top end of the range. If you zoom out a little bit here, this is actually looking pretty good. Up against this 330, 335 area. You got to go all the way back to, I guess it was Wednesday of last week, where we topped out at that point. Up 2% here, though, getting some help on the autonomous side of things with regulations easing slightly.
Yeah, the Fed, NHTSA, Brendo, looking to ease regulations for AV vehicles, autonomous vehicles. So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration announced a move to ease restrictions on autonomous vehicles. The new rules will streamline exemptions for vehicles under Part 555 of their enabling statute. This includes letting automakers bypass certain safety rules, such as requirements for a steering wheel, for pedals. This is all going to happen over a 2 to 3 year test period. It's not going to happen overnight. The update obviously will help Tesla's new Cybercab, which is still in the prototype because it lacks traditional driver controls. Enhanced exemption instructions will assist automakers in navigating the legal framework faster, so it's nice to have a regulatory framework off which to work. And the Austin Robotaxi event, Brendo, it's getting a lot closer. June 22nd is the expected launch date. We already see the Model Ys operating on Austin streets, and Tesla is registered in Texas as an AV operator, but is still considered in the testing phase.
We'll see how this reacts here today, but so far so good. Holding up very strong. Worth noting, Kathy Wood, I didn't even know this, but Kathy Wood puts out a weekly, I don't want to call it a podcast. It's like 40 minutes plus, but it's just her.
I didn't know that.
Of downloading information essentially on what they did that week and why. And she went in depth on the whole Elon Trump thing.
Oh boy.
And supported him and said,
Elon?
Obviously she's going to support him because that's a huge position for her. So had all kinds of positive things to say. So anyway.
She say anything about the upcoming Robotaxi?
A few things. I mean, it's one of those, because it's so long, you have to kind of break it up and digest it in parts because she's like very, very technical. But worth a watch. Anyway, 2% here, guys. Thoughts on Tesla?
Stock which was bullish on Friday, been bullish since the makeups, gets bullish news. Yeah, looking for some longs here on Tesla for sure. You already filled in the gap from when we had, you know, that. I don't even know what you want to describe the tweet fest or the X fest between Elon and President Trump. But that gap got filled, and what's interesting is on Friday, pretty much almost to the penny, if you look at where that top was that day, that's where it ended up bouncing. Not just on Friday on the high dip, so like 323 in here. It did so the prior day, tried to hold for most of the day, and then you had a close on Wednesday, giving you that 323. Above that price, looking dip longs. So, I mean, the first stop would be afternoon resistance turning into support, but as long as we're over that 323, that'd be the next stop. And you got a 336 break, which would kind of fill in this gap and then break out the top. So, yeah, only really looking for some Tesla longs in here today, as that's positive news. Everyone's been saying this is the big step for them, and they're getting real close to making it. Simple.
All right, so it's on the sticky note today. It'll be a big trade. I'm hoping for TSLA right here. So yeah, as Neil just mentioned, you can go over and have a quick look at what we're talking about here. But I have Tesla as a 330 pre-market low. If it can come into there, we'll dip buy into that. Or we can maybe get a 336 high break. So it's all on here. Palantir, Tesla, AMD, XOM, a few others that we're looking at. But yeah, there it goes. So we are starting to break through here on Tesla. I feel like we do get this break. I mean, I think I'm using 336. I mean, now that I see this, we're right there right now. You might just want to take the pre-market out right now at 333 if that winds up breaking. The reason why I did it again. The reason why I said 336 was it was right up to here. So that was 11, 12 Wednesday's sort of high. Like if the market wants to go, we know Tesla can go $4 from where we are right now. It might even be up to there by the time this market opens, right? So if the market wants to rally, the only thing, this is what was stopping me from punching this long is just, we had a bunch of sort of congestion here between 334 and 335, but we could still get through that. The only thing is this is from the open market of Tuesday or whatever day the 11th was right there. So that's a little bit of a problem. So I would like thinking about taking out the top. Let's be patient and see if it can get up to there. Or like I said, this 330 could be a good dip buy right there if we can come into 330. I mean, I love even dollar levels. So to me, we're either going long 330 or we're going long 336 on the high break for Tesla. So, but yeah, there it is, the pre-market levels coming in both ways. You have that 333 right there or the 330 dip buy, which I think I like, man. That's the 200 period moving average. So we're going to give it a second. And sometimes when I say that, we're literally in at like 30 seconds in. But let's wait on Tesla just a little bit. The market definitely wants to go long. Like Brendan was saying, if they're talking nicely about it on the street, then Tesla, we know it's a kind of a cult stock, so it can go no matter what. So we're going to watch out for Tesla here. Midday, probably a great trade, and off the open. It's going to break. It's just a matter of which way, right? And so I think long. Up 2%. Hard not to go long today on Tesla.
All right, Google up next here. I was just reading through this note on Reddit. Touched on this earlier this morning. I think I said it was the most, but apparently it's the second most, my bad, cited source here for Google AI's Gemini. So anytime you search for a specific reference to something in Gemini, most likely it's coming from Reddit here, according to SEMrush. So, I mean, that's just one of a couple of things going on here this morning, but positive here for Google this turn.
Yeah, and I've been using Gemini 2.5 a lot more now that we have it on our platform here at work. A lot better, Brendo, than the other stuff that we had to use before. Let's talk about this scale AI kind of aspect of the Google story. So Google is planning on severing all ties with scale AI after news broke last week that Meta's acquiring a 49% stake in the data labeling startup. Google had intended to spend about $200 million with scale this year for training its Gemini AI models. The decision is based, obviously, on confidentiality concerns. Meta's a direct competitor with Google. So scale employees often see or gain exposure to proprietary model data and roadmaps during the labeling process. Meta's investment values here scale at $29 billion, which is up substantially from 14. But here, the deal is with Google exiting, Microsoft as well, XAI, OpenAI, all scaling back with their business with Scale AI, no pun intended there, which is a high margin revenue, their high margin revenue sources. And competitors like Labelbox, Handshake, Mercer, Turing, they're all looking at basically picking up some of Scale's demand and basically labeling, Brendo, because I didn't even know what this was. It's in the pre-training of the model. The model has to know what the hell it's looking at. So this company just basically goes in, labels images, they label different documents, so the model has a better understanding, and by doing so, they're able to see some proprietary information for the LLM.
And getting so much attention is this company over the past few weeks here. I'm still trying to find more information about this $499 Trump phone. At one point, that's what the Pixel phones were priced at.
$499 is
a
deal.
You could get the normal one, the base one for that, but it's no longer. Anyways, guys, Google.
Still talking about the Trump phone. No, Google. Anyways, Google looks like what? It's not the top. It's not. It didn't make my list today, but when you look at the chart, 177. Double top the last couple of sessions and then prior close on Wednesday. So support to resistance. I just think you need to break that price out, and then Google looks a heck of a lot better. It's back above the 200-period moving average, right? So I don't necessarily think this news is a big deal for the stock in a general sense. Right now, it's not moving more than the market. It's actually up slightly less than the Nasdaq, which is why it's not really making the list. But hey, positive, it's back above the 200-period moving average. You hold on to that. It's been stair-stepping up for a recovery, and if it can get through 180, I think this is a stock which clearly has got a very nice upward trend going and playing some catch-up overall. But yeah, I don't think it's one I'm going to be trading today. Slightly weaker than the overall market, and I don't think I don't know that that's a big enough catalyst to move it to the top of the list.
Yeah, I have. I had Google. It's close to getting on there. I like the 177 break today, right there, 177. Just to think that we could get back into it. I'm going to call it up on a e-signal chart. Actually, I'm going to call it up on a 20-minute chart right here, just to show you. So there's 177. Just thinking like we topped out there on Friday, and then we had obviously all that action there in the Middle East, which falsely created this move down, right? I mean, if the market's going to be battling back today, and we're not too worried about everything, I don't think Google is having too much impact out there, and we're going to wait to see for a 177 break. I think that gets us to 180 plus today. So if you can break that 177, then I think we do rest our heads somewhere between 179 and 180 today. So that's a really nice look to get back to there. So I'm, we'll probably, I don't want to miss this trade, but we'll have it on board there. I'll probably be in a Google or a Palantir otherwise than this, but for right now, I think Google is a nice upside target there, breaking through that 177. So like the stock, it's been trading really, really well. We had Steve Tileman on a couple weeks ago when I was with him there, and he was talking about how he really liked the setup on Google. So yeah, we'll wait to see if it breaks a little bit higher now. It did pull back off that 180 level, so that was pretty interesting to see because we did have a top there back in November. We touched it and then whoops, all the way back down. But what we did was hold the 200 period, so that's absolutely fantastic. Now looks to break higher. I think Google's working and it's higher than 180 by the time this week is over. So yeah, if you're thinking that, then you have to be thinking long. Google right now on dips looks like they want to buy it. And right now, it looks like we're trying to rip. So we'll see about a 177 break right there. The thing is, it's just with the market today. So it's actually underperforming the market. So I don't think it's a good decision. Like they're into scale AI, then they're out of scale AI. It shows a little bit of uncertainty there for what they're trying to do. So not absolutely in love with this play, but it was close. It was close for a breakout. Yeah, no, because it was close and because I kind of like it, probably means it'll be the best one. So wait to see what happens here with Google.
All right, NVIDIA, back to basically Friday's highs right now. What a wild session that was back on Friday. Back and forth we went, ended the day basically at the lows. We're up 1% here. Jensen over in the European Union this week trying to tout his services over anyone else's. Not that that's a major story because he does that basically on a full-time basis. But I mean, if you zoom out here, the problem I think for NVIDIA right now and a lot of these chip stocks is they're kind of stuck in the middle of the range.
And they have been for a long time. It feels like, you know, even though we're back to NVIDIA being the largest market cap company in the world, it's still not at all-time highs. Let's talk about what they were doing out in Europe. NVIDIA is trying to make a push to basically help a lot of these European countries achieve sovereign AI. Sovereign AI basically is just a euphemism for countries having control over their own AI rather than relying on the AI developed by the American government or others as well as the Chinese. So, you know, Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom has already invested about £1 billion for AI research computing up to 2030. Germany kind of doing the same thing there, Brendo, picking up about 10,000 GPUs so they can have their own data centers. So obviously, yeah, NVIDIA integral in that.
Just seeing more on this Meta popping up here to the tune of about 3%, just ripped up to 705. So Mark Zuckerberg unveiling more new features aimed at monetizing WhatsApp, up more than 3% here. I'll keep reading this, guys, but just a heads up on Meta as well.
Like, yeah, they keep winning, so I like that stock for sure. The one thing about NVIDIA is I think we know for sure that 145 is an obvious resistance spot, at least for now. It'll get broken eventually, but until it does, you know, you got to contend with all roads leading to this 145. So if I like the chips today, which I'll get the MU. I like MU a little bit better because I think that's a stock which is doing something a little bit different. But NVIDIA, we get up to 145. It seems like kind of an obvious resistance little spot. It is set up for like a local breakout, like the Friday breakout, take you into 145. But when I looked over, we talked about this last week, with Micron and that daily chart for MU, where it's finally broken away from the 200-period moving average, broken out above it, broken out above this 115, which had been resistance going all the way back to mid last year, and very, very strong week, a consolidation week, and you're above prior high. So like this is the chip name that I like today. NVIDIA certainly gives you rally room to 145, and then it's probably short first when it gets there. But yeah, Micron, I'm going to be going for the longs in here into Friday highs at 117 area. I think even 116.5, you're still pretty good. But Micron's the chart that I like in the chip space right now.
All right, so yeah, for me, Meta. We talked about this last week. Meta was doing something with WhatsApp, right? And so you know, I knew that this day was definitely coming, but unfortunately, the announcement does happen pre-market, and there it goes, right? So WhatsApp about to be littered with ads, so that's cool. But it's cool for companies, not cool for users, I feel like. But there it is. We'll see what happens with Meta right now. Good move, man, up 3%, giving advertisers more space. So Meta continues to be an absolute monster, but WhatsApp will probably be somewhat ruined by this, but that's okay. We'll see what winds up happening with Zuckerberg, a company. But yeah, no, NVIDIA for me is not really that interesting. As a number one trade, I have AMD on there, so we'll see if that comes in, and we're gonna talk about that next. But right into here, just real quick, like if it comes back into 142, I think that would be the only area for me for right now. That would be yesterday's, and which was Friday's, of course, sort of closing price area. I'm not sure if it closed exactly at this 141.80 or where this closed. Oh no, there's the closing candle right there. So yeah, 140. So coming into 142 would be 142 is the level for me for NVIDIA. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be like the big headline today to get this thing going, but it doesn't mean that we're not going back to all-time highs because I believe we are. And just this break of 145 gets you to 148. I think for sure that's $3. And then you're one headline away probably tomorrow or the next day before breaking through 151 and change and giving you a new all-time high for NVIDIA. So again, I really like the stock. It's just today not really set up for me as well as I would like. So I'm going over to AMD and we'll talk about that right now.
Detail on this, guys, but here's a quick look at what Meta has just announced. So they're introducing channel subscriptions, promoted channels, and ads in status for WhatsApp. So that's just a graphic showing exactly that. So again, not a lot of detail, but promoted channels, ads in status, and WhatsApp updates as well. So heads up for Meta. We'll keep an eye out for anything more on that. Yeah, we had AMD. We were touching on that a little bit on the upgrades and downgrades page. Still looking pretty good here, 2.5% holding higher. Above that low from 2 days ago.
Yeah, Brendo. So Piper Sandler lifting their price target up from $125 to $140, maintaining that overweight rating. The upgrade reflects increased optimism following the company's recent product announcements and improving business outlook. Piper likes the newly announced Helios rack, which was unveiled at AMD's recent events, and calling it a pivotal catalyst for AMD and their GPU growth. The product is seen as central to AMD's long-term data center strategy and AI ambitions, but they do continue to have some headwinds. They're Piper anticipating a snapback in GPU demand by Q4 of 2025, but basically citing headwinds tied to trade or export restrictions may not be fully absorbed yet, but should be by year's end. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll touch on Roku here as well, but it looks like, guys, we might be coming back in here a little bit on Meta.
Meta was just up so much there.
I could see it dipping a little bit. I mean, it just made such a good rally. And right into, just maybe let's talk quickly Meta. I don't have AMD on my list anyway, so like I said, I like Micron on the chip space, but yeah, Meta went right into last week's resistance at that 704. In a liquidity vacuum, I think that's what you'd expect. If it does dip, 694, 695 seems like an obvious spot to play back into. So, I mean, holding 700 would be fantastic. Nothing about the daily chart doesn't look good, but it's essentially just travel the entirety of the consolidation range. So you go to the top, the next step to make a higher low, I think makes a lot of sense. 695 on Meta actually even lines up with VWAP at 695 as well. So that makes a little bit of sense there.
Yeah, no, so for me, for AMD, I have it on there. It's going to be a good trade I'm hoping for anyways, and I just have it breaking through this 120 marker. So just right here, I have AMD 120 long. It's a key level, but we have the upgrade. We have the product announcements. They like them. We had those announcements last week. So, you know, up 2.5% definitely with the market. So I think that that's going to be a good play right there. There's 118, any dip buy opportunities into 118. I like that. Yeah, it's not that I really love the stock. I don't. There's some top problems here up around that 125 mark. But here's 120 right here. We had sort of, last time we had broken through it, that's what led us up to 125 before running into its 200 period moving average, which is a screen. So, you know, you're gonna run into some problems, but that's a little ways away, and that's not a problem of mine if we're down here at 119 and we want to get higher. So I like the stock. I think it works. I think we can get through that 120 marker. Here it is right here on a longer scale. So there it was, slow down chart. There we go. So here it was right here. So it looks good to me. I don't think it's a fade area. I mean, if the market comes back in, which maybe it's starting to think about doing maybe, then I could see this coming in for us. But for right now, I'm looking for a break. If the market does come in, I mean, here's 118 right down here. So you have a top there, a little bit of a gap, and it's not much. It's like 20 cents. So, you know, there's some sort of hopefully a demand area right here at 118. So we're just stuck in the middle of a trade. It's either a 118 dip buy or that 120 break, kind of like whatever happens first for me, we'll be on one of those plays. So for AMD, that's what I'm looking at. Probably the dip buy, as I said. Looks like the Nasdaq's coming in just a bit there. So I would say that's more of a play than anything else right now, the 118 dip buy. But you know, when we're writing this note down, we're up here at 119.20s and looking to go higher. Then we had a little bit of a dip happening here. But the Nasdaq trying to hold this pre-market level, so I think we're probably okay. All right, we have tons of time. Let's just go over and talk about Roku.
A lot of volume behind this so far this morning, but yeah, getting a Amazon-sized boost here this morning, 9.3% right now. $82 coming into play. I was just saying to Sharif before he came back over here, you zoom out a little bit, this thing is still basically nowhere compared to where it was back in the pandemic, but this is going to help. I mean, Amazon ads coming to their CCTV.
That's the mother of all double tops. I've never seen a better looking
textbook.
double top there. Yeah, geez, Louise, imagine holding that short. All right, guys, Amazon Ads and Roku unveiled a new and exclusive integration that allows advertisers to access the largest authenticated CTV footprint in the United States via Amazon DSP, which stands for Demand Side Platform. We know Amazon is in the advertising game here as well. So the partnership targets about 80 million logged in CTV households, which represents about 80% of all U.S. CTV reached, according to ComScore. The early campaign showed about a 40% increase in unique viewer reach with the same ad budget. So not spending, you're getting a bit more. The ad frequency dropped about 30%, which improved efficiency, resulted in advertisers basically getting 3 times more value for their spending. Not a bad look there. It will include premium content access like Roku on Roku's channel, Prime Video. Third-party platforms as well are going to be involved in this, like Disney, Paramount, Tubi, WBD, and Fox. The strategic implications here are Amazon touts this as a giant leap forward in performance-based TV advertising, giving these DSP users full funnel capabilities and a brand awareness conversion. Brendan.
We'll see if there's any kind of follow through here this morning, but not a lot of interest so far here, guys, for Roku.
It's up very nicely on Roku for sure. I think I want to see volume start to come in out and about and above $82. 370,000 in volume. It's not bad. Obviously, it's going to do a little bit more pre-market volume than recently, so relatively speaking, it is pretty good. But yeah, 82.5 is where you need to break out, and you're about $1 lower than that here on Roku. This portion of the show brought to you, everybody, by VinFast, because VinFast just dropped their Q1 2025 earnings. Revenue is up 150% year over year, and they've made a big jump on gross margins, now sitting at 35%, minus 35%, up from minus 59% last year. That's thanks to tighter cost control and growing scale. The company's global push continues, rolling out new products, new dealerships, and expanding their green mobility ecosystem. Shout out to VinFast. You can get more information scanning the QR code you see in front of you. So shout out to them. Yeah, Roku needs some more volume in there. I think it can break out today. It's certainly possible. We've seen the stock do it before, but about $1 away from what would be a significant breakout level.
Yeah, okay, so for me, I haven't really looked too hard at Roku over the last little while, but $81 does seem pretty low, considering where we know this thing can go. But it's, I don't know. It's well up. They're starting to break through right now, coming into, again, another supply zone. So, yeah, it's nice that it's up 10%, obviously giving it this move right up to there. I would be very cautious of an 85 to 86 area right now on Roku. So something coming into that level would be something to look at for me. Another name that I wanted to talk about that we looked at briefly in the pre-market was XOM. Now, let me look at to see if there's any imbalances here at all on ExxonMobil today. Okay, no. So Joby, I'm just trying to see some names that maybe we've been looking at. BBAI, their 380s not doing anything. Archer has been a good one. This was an area that I was long before. Yeah, there's Circle, 150, wow. Oracle, we talked about like that move that they've had as well. But yeah, for right now, no major oil names on here that I can see. So for me, it's just a break of oil, basically getting through that 71.50 or so area, and then XOM right here is at that 112. So we had, you know, again, Middle Eastern tensions seems to be a little lesser right now, and oil pulling back in from a potential huge run that a lot of traders were anticipating there, obviously on Friday, with it up like 6 or 7%, I think, by the time we finally closed there on Friday. And then, of course, we did have that break, and I don't, you know, it's thinking about it. It does break that low from Friday there of 71.50 or so. We get into 71.40. This is light sweet crude. So, you know, if this is still a thing, then I think XOM is also a thing, and it's on the sticky note for a downside play. I wrote down 112 to 112.50. That's 50 right there. We'll see if it can come up to that area. So I'm going to sit at 112.25 and give it a go, right? I don't really want to necessarily, just in case oil starts bouncing again and goes back up to the upside, people will sort of flock over here. There's many other names. There's Occidental, there's everything. The reason why I do pick this is I like the action here. We have a 200 period push. Then we have a rejection, it looks like, potentially today, and right into past supply zones of 112 to 113. So I think we're in the right area here with ExxonMobil. We'll get an update in just a couple seconds with the Nasdaq imbalances coming through, but for right now, I like a 112.50 play on XOM, and then on Occidental, this was moving again as well, but if you look here at the daily chart, you've already sort of extended through. Like, I would be looking here, this is what it kind of looks like on XOM, but the other way around, where we don't have resistance, we have support. So we're gonna see right there, 45. This is what we talked about on Friday, was this 45, 46 area. It looks like it would have been okay on that day as well. So there's gonna be something there coming through.
Oh, Oxy.
All right, Mara just moved a bit. Let me see if there's anything that popped through here on those imbalances. Oh, and NVIDIA came with a decent sized sell. So there goes NVIDIA with a push down about it's only about 40 cents, so not bad there on NVIDIA. MP was a precious metals play right there, or rare earth metals, so nice move there, but that's a buy, so there's nothing really happening, up 3%. Pfizer's been in the doghouse for a while. I was gonna say 26, 24.50. Oh, one of our friends here, GameStop, had that nice move off of 21.50, where we were like, what's going on? And now GameStop up another 3%. And then oopsies, we just had SRM on there as well. So let's have a quick look to see what that's doing. Breaking through day's high right now, SRM on Tron Coin Treasury. So I guess the thing is, if Tron actually goes up for some reason, then you'll have this rallying with it. So.
Well, you know what? We didn't really talk too much about crypto. We have 4 minutes to go here, so why not? Because I have Bitcoin on my mind. Nice bounce. You didn't get a real retest of 100,000, obviously. And we didn't get any all-time highs over the weekend either. So the fact that we're up, I think, is a good thing like that. But I want resistance turning into support. And 106. A few times you had it over the weekend, 106, and then Friday we had a bit of a top there at that 106 level, bit of a consolidation Thursday as well. So 106 on BTC for IBIT, it's right in and around this 60 and a quarter level. So if we dip down into there, look for the reversion buy. I think as long as you're above 60, you're good. But we've had these dips at the open. Pretty much every single open, there's been some kind of a dip recently. Dip, rip, rip. A little deeper there on Friday, and slight one there on Wednesday. Did it again Tuesday. Pretty much every single open, there's been some selling on Bitcoin, and then you have to be patient, look for that turn, mean reversion play, trend break. If it's like a trend break, like 2, 3, 4 bars on a 15-minute, then you got to be really patient for it. Sometimes it's just the open, but I'm looking for that dip in a prior high on BTC. We didn't talk about Palantir, outside of saying that Palantir made an all-time high, but it has, and it's not as clean as some other stocks that have these barriers that we're looking at in the afternoon, like all week long. Palantir actually broke out its top a little bit on Friday before pulling back, so it's more of an area in here around 139, 138.5 to 139, I'd say, which is the test of last week's high. I think that's where, if you lose that bid, then you're not really in the top end of the breakout anymore. Palantir also going to be in mind. With only a couple of minutes to go in here, everybody. There's a lot to watch. As Sean said, there was a small sell imbalance on NVIDIA. Yeah, they just shrugged that one off. Right back to the highs. Like, that just didn't even take very long for NVIDIA. Yeah, that's what they're doing in this market. Like I said, I'm looking at Micron a little bit as my play in the chip space, but NVIDIA up 1% and looking pretty strong. Okay, what just happened here? We get any changes at 928? Maybe? Nope. Yeah. Dollar drop here in Amazon just now.
The market's trying to go. I'm long Palantir. So.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. So dollar drop here in Amazon. Didn't see any imbalances there. You saw, Tesla also just dropped going into the open. That dropped about $1. It looks like Amazon's one of the bigger ones. What about Alphabet? That was going to be in place. Well, yeah, Alphabet dropping 70, 80 cents in here as well. So a little bit of a dip as 928 hit going into the opens.
Look, you guys wanted the sticky note link on the chat, so thank you so much for asking for that, and I just put it in there right now. So there's Palantir, just came into 140, so I'm long. And we're only long half a unit here off the open. I mean, Palantir's had disgusting moves for sure, both upside and downside straight off the jump. So we'll wait for Palantir to go. I'm waiting at 30s to see if we could take 30 cents for 5%, and then maybe we can get a little bit higher than that. But Palantir, Tesla, AMD, XOM, all trying to be watched for myself. So we'll see if we can get some runners there. This is Palantir, it just fell in, so whatever, we'll take it. I am gonna wait, like there's 139.50. I was actually gonna wait to see if we do drop, you know, see what kind of drop we get. I mean, this 139 could be something as well. So if we drop all the way, I'm not gonna average into 139.50, I'm gonna wait. We only have half a unit. We could definitely load this thing up if it comes in even more aggressively than it is. It might be too easy of a play, and that might be the problem there today, up 2%. The market really shrugging off all these worries in the Middle East, and I'm not sure that that's right. So, you know, that could be the thing. Here comes AMD as well, coming back into 118. So, again, there could be some things falling apart today. Orogenics, this is brought to you by our Open. Thank you to Orogenics. Listed on the NYSE as OGen. Okay, well, here we go, man. We are now into AMD, and AMD is coming in. Everything's coming in just a little bit here. Let's just take 50 cents then on. Let's take 60 cents. Let's go. There it is right there to start the day with a real quick win here. Wow, okay. Oh, that was easy. We just got out of 70% there for a monster win on AMD. Also, Neil, Palantir also going. We're in total $1.50 in the money now on our first two positions, and it's the top two plays here on the sticky notes. So far, so good. Let's see if we can really work this thing out. There goes AMD, your first Dollar Club winner, straight off the jump with AMD.
Yeah, great look over there on AMD. NVIDIA just blasted through the high, but Tesla's coming back into the downside. So not everything is headed higher. That just bounced off the 329 level. Let's see if we can't get a second look at that level. I got to cancel my Micron order because that just blew out it's blowing out the top as we speak, and as does Palantir. I'm sitting at 139. We're not going to get that one at all. Position board, guys, you're going to have to refresh it. I'm assuming because there's no positions showing. I'm not in position, Bashan is.
Yeah, and they're both dollars. So right now we have Palantir. I mean, they're just, again, it's just, and thank you guys for putting the sticky note out there where it says, I mean, right here we have Palantir long. Like I said, man, traders going to trade. I'm going to sit here and trade these levels. There's Palantir long 140. There's AMD long 118, which we had talked about. So there it goes, man. Now we're $1.50 in the money. It's too bad it's only half a unit, but the good thing about it is we still have the whole thing pretty much on board right there. $1.70 right now in the money on Palantir. $1.30 now in the money on AMD. So yeah, man, I mean, let's take advantage of this, and we're just doing that in spades right now with big bangs. One more time here today. So there it goes, man. Already at our limit for the day, our goal, but we're still going. So that's 2 for 2 there to start the day. Nice move at 118, nice move up there to 119 and change. And then, of course, the biggest one of the day here, Palantir, already $2 in the money now for PLTR, as we're trying to do good things here, but we're doing the best with the least. We don't have, these were our first fills. So lots to go. Okay. Wow. I wish my half unit is still good, but you know, I wish it was a lot more than that. There it is now, man. $2 in the money off of the Palantir sticky note trade idea, numero uno.
Numero uno honcho.
Yes, sir.
I was watching clips from Airplane 2 the other day. Well, guess what's not going to the up? Tesla is actually tanking now. So this is not looking strong whatsoever. There hasn't been any bounce overall in the stock. Oh, I just got slipped into Micron as I was staring down Tesla. 323 on Tesla. That's, I mean, 323, I almost pointed with my hand. 323 looks like the obvious support level to be able to get into. Previous close 325 as well. As long as we're above those two metrics, I mean, I'll look for a bounce because I want to be bullish on Tesla, but I don't want to be catching falling knives. When the market's breaking back out and this thing looks like an absolute dog. Tesla being an absolute dog. Okay, so Micron broke through 118 when that happened. Just came right to the pre-market high, 118.5, and now trying to pull back in here. So breakout through the top, not really the top, but through resistance, initial resistance. If we pull back in, I want dip buys into the heart of pre-market support on Micron. Bitcoin's not really doing a heck of a lot just yet.
Oh, AMD felt false broke.
But Yeah, I mean, it's not really moving just yet. I'll keep my eye on Bitcoin, but nothing really happening there. But Tesla is falling really, really heavily, guys. That looks like it's a super, super weak stock, unfortunately. Thought there'd be a little more juice in Tesla, but I'm not going to stand in front of that thing.
Oh my gosh, we are absolutely having ourselves a day over here right now. It's $3 on Palantir, and we just took some trades through our next trade idea of AMD. So here comes AMD. Let's see if it wants to go, man. I don't know. It is having a problem here at 120. We could get the break and fake, which is kind of what it's trying to do right now. We were able to get, okay, here we go. We're able to get something out in the teens there. The best out for AMD, I guess, is in the 20s here, but that doesn't really, it matters a lot, don't get me wrong, but there's Palantir. Wow, we saw the half of this Palantir trade. Let me get out of a little bit more here on AMD whoops, that's Palantir, for flat, because don't want this breaking the back here of the trade. So I'm gonna get out of a little bit more at 95 if we can. There it is. So now we'll let it go. But there it is, man. 118 up to 120. It happened. We actually got both of what we thought would go. Wow, there it is right now, man. It is just an absolute Lambo trade right there on Palantir. I mean, I hope you guys have some shares, but there it goes. Nice move upside there for PLTR. So a stock that you couldn't stop talking about, Micron, a stock that I couldn't stop talking about, Palantir. So far, so good here today, guys. I hope this all works out. Let's see what happens with AMD. That's our next sort of push right now.
This is, okay, just a couple of things happening. SMR is up 10% and flying through 42.
Nice.
OKLO is up 15% and flying through 73, going absolutely ham. And not to be confused with SMR. SRM is up 340% and going through 640. So there's a lot of other moves happening. I know you guys are yelling about some of the nuclear names. Well, for lack of a better pun, going nuclear. Yeah, that one just kind of writes itself. Looking for the dip buy here. I didn't get it in Micron. It looks like we bounced off 118.20. Some higher lows being put in and looking relatively strong. Like I said, IBIT not really doing much of anything. The chips they're running, but they had been led early by NVIDIA. NVIDIA's pulling right back into prior lows. So if we can get a bounce over prior lows, I think I'll be able to get a reload on Micron. And as far as Tesla goes, you just got to stay away. At least for now. Another break of the low just happened in Tesla. It's still not looking very good for them. 323, that's the area that I'm gonna target for Tesla. It's almost red. If it gets there, then I can look for a potential turnaround at Dara.
And UNH here, this one pretty weak. Apparently over the weekend, the company, I guess it was announced that the company reached a $69 million settlement in a fiduciary duty lawsuit. We know the company has been plagued with a lot of issues as of late. UNH dropping here right off the open. I also want to let you guys know that we do not have any economic data coming through at 10. Donald Trump, President of the United States, will be attending the G7 summit. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that throughout the day. You can check out our Trump calendar and X at TTP Research, which was just posted, to see what he's supposed to be doing when. But apparently that's supposed to start around 10:30 Eastern. Back to you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Darren,
for that one. Yeah, we are just cruising right now with the stocks that we have on play now. I'm looking to get more. I mean, Palantir's gone, so forget about that. We did get out to some AMD there when it fake broke our levels, but I still am waiting to get a little bit more, obviously, as we go through 120. I'm going to try to, we just missed the average in. I was just late on it. We're at 119.25. That's sort of where VWAP is. It came down into 119.50. We should have done a little bit better there and maybe gotten that bid. So I'm still going to wait for 119.25 where my order was and see if it does come through. It is having a problem at 120. We did sort of anticipate that maybe something like that is in the cards. I'm going to take out, let me take out one more piece here on Palantir just because of where it is, man. That just went up to 20. There we go. We get that 24 fill on that. I mean, this is now $3 and change. As we, maybe we'll get some, I don't know. I mean, look what the Nasdaq's doing. I'm hearing, we're seeing or hearing that there was some more Iranian stuff happening right here. But
the market's
again,
shrugging it all off.
The market is kind of just like whatever, man. And AMD is, trying to get back upside right now again. So if we can get something out here in the 20s at the day's high, then we're going to do that and then just let the Nasdaq continue to settle down, man. It's big time trading over here right now. We just got 2 times our goal, so we're pretty happy with what's been going on, but it could get nasty, and I am trying to take out some kind of profit here. But, you know, let's see if we can let it go. We still have a third of our AMD, and it's a good one. So the problem is we took some there, and then we took some on the 120 break. So that's why you're getting this average price. Otherwise, this would be 250 in the money. 250 in the money off our first trade there, plus 350 in the money right there, you know, gives us that $7 so far on 2 trades, or $6 there on 2 trades. So far, so good. And then XOM does exactly what I thought it would do, but that's about it. It goes up to 113, which we were talking about. But right now, as we watch out for this, it's starting to go back up. So I wanted to give this a shot. Maybe we'll see what happens at 113. But for right now, man, we are over the moon with this trading so far there today. Go Palantir, go AMD. But that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, I missed one thing. CoreWeave tanked right away off the open. They're not gonna chase that move, not in a market which is absolutely flying to the upside. So, you know, if you took that one to the short, you pretty much had to have the initial candle on that breakaway. So it is what it is. If it comes back up to 150, I can always make a judgment, you know, at that point, whether we like it still, maybe there's size, who knows. Just dip bot on Micron. Looks like the trend is going right back in. 119 is almost the exact top up here. So we've got a couple of higher lows so far on Micron, but need this thing to break out that top again. The 119 proving to be a little bit of resistance. I'm seeing NVIDIA's having a little trouble as well. And Carsao, Circle just hit $158, another uptrending stock. Look, the market's going on higher. I think you want to play some dip buys in anything that is uptrending that's going to sit on your list. The only thing that's not playing out how I would have expected, I mean, Tesla's trying to get through VWAP here. It didn't get to 323. That's where I liked it. Still want to be patient because it hasn't really broken the downtrend. But if we close above VWAP, this does give us a chance to maybe get in another way here in Tesla. Adara?
Keep an eye here on SPET. This is SharpLink Gaming pushing into today's highs, though it's still well below its pre-market highs. On Friday, you might remember this one announced that it acquired 176,271 Ethereum for $463 million. This actually makes SPET the largest publicly traded holder of Ethereum. They have a 664,000 share float, so keep an eye on this name today. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara. I'm just tweeting out that this Palantir trade is working. I don't need too much else to work for me today at all. I'm basically done. We're up more now than we've averaged per day since we started the show, so that's good so far for that trade. SRM was another one that was running upside as well. That's pulled back just a little bit here, so nice move up there for SRM, making those highs up into 650. We can have a look back to see what's going on here with some pullbacks, but yeah, the chart looks like this. So I don't really know what to do. I'm not just gonna keep zooming out. These guys are taking on a treasury, so I don't really know. They're trying to go with Tron coin there. Like that SBET was Ethereum, so just makes me wonder about all that. Like, can they just do, like, can someone say, oh, we're taking Cardano, we're taking this, like, I don't know. It seems a little bit ridiculous to me, but hey, man, the market is what the market is. And we are now $4 right now on Palantir with our #1 trade idea from today's sticky note. Going there, Neil's in Micron. We've got some good trades popping off right here, right now. Apple not doing too much. I was looking at that name as well today. Okay, we must have a bad wick, which we do. Apple up and down. Google, I said, was 177 was a good possibility to come through, but look, I mean, very, very choppy, so nothing there. Wow. Oh boy. This is starting to become a special day now. So here goes AMD. It's too bad because we did have a really big order that we pushed through at 120. And it's not that I didn't have any faith on that or anything like that, but we went from 118 to 120. When we blasted it through, it stopped. Whoa, we just got 80s right there on advanced micro devices. So there it is, man. it's going. And finally, we're able to hold a decent chunk of what we wanted to do. So it's a big day alert over here. So I'm glad to talk to you guys about that because, you know, when I'm getting hit, I tell you, man, we're getting hit today. And we're having big days, I got to tell you that, right? So I told you we put on some good share size. It's a good day today. Even though we only had, the part of the reason is right now I have about like just under half of what we had to begin with on Palantir. So the fact that it was only half a unit for me, which is still decent, we held it for $4. So it's the same as holding like 2 units for $1, you know, plus. So it's kind of like, that was a really good exchange there for me. And then right there's $1 finally. And it's too bad because we could have had our whole week if we had just held what we held, but we didn't. So there it is, man, a nice move there for AMD. Now $3 in the money from AMD's dip buy. $4 in the money for Palantir, so it's really going, man. The advanced money duplicator is doing it today, that is for sure. Tesla's, I've left it alone, but it's just...
Tesla is a bum.
It's just big, man. And this is the thing about us moving on. Wow, there goes Palantir, there goes AMD. Like, I'll continue to do this for you guys all the time, but this is why we're doing the studio. We're going to have... Sharif, we're gonna have Joe talking about other random names as we go, right? Like I'm just a big Mag 7, big cap type of guy. We'll look at other things, but I got too much going on. And I really appreciate getting the guys to my left and Neil and these guys trying to look for some other opportunities. So we've already talked about all of this. So there it goes, AMD taking out a little bit. We're really excited for the Studio 8 Renos, but Palantir is now $5 in the money. So yeah, man, my eyes are over here all the time. So I'm not hitting any other keys right now, just watching out for these two names and seeing where we can get off higher than that. Tesla was the other look, and I just saw it, and it's at 328 and not doing what I had hoped for. I was looking for a 330 break.
I don't think it's doing what anyone's hoping for.
So maybe that can come through. I don't know.
The other name that's some people have mentioned is Oracle was super strong last week. That's not really doing much of anything. I just looked over at CoreWeave, which was a name that I was actually looking to play to the short side. It might break out this 150 level as we speak. But as that happens, I'm not going to short that level just willy-nilly. That's a V-shaped recovery. You had to have the short on the way down, in my opinion. So I'm not just going to stand in front of a moving freight train. IBIT, on the other hand, I did not get the dip on IBIT when it held that pre-market low, but it's still very much in the pocket and in the range. So 60.5. I did like it a heck of a lot better if we could get that 60.25, but as long as we hold the bottom end of the range, I'll be okay buying the dip into the 60.5 and to get into some IBIT. Micron did not get the third dip just now of 118, but basically the same story. It's trying to make that run at the highs. 118 was our first price. We were able to get the second time through in the 30s. We needed to break the 119. It got there once. It can't seem to get there again. And as I said, IBIT's where I'm sitting on the bid right now to try to grab that long. I haven't given up on Tesla. It's just that we're still downward trending. And until you get to 323 or make higher lows, it's a downward trending stock. I just don't think you want to fight it. NVIDIA could lose a little bit here, but what I like now, I'm going to show you NVIDIA and Micron side by side. Now you've got Micron making a higher low running the high while NVIDIA is pressing into support. So relative strength over here in some chip names that aren't necessarily NVIDIA, and that's what we thought today. Didn't really think NVIDIA was going to necessarily be the one. If you're trying to short circle, good luck to you, is all I got to say. 162, this just broke out as well. I want to get myself some IBIT, see if we can't get another dip buy in Micron as well. I know people are talking about Coinbase. There's lots to be watching. I haven't looked at Coinbase once today, but what I can tell you is 250 is an obvious level. Pre-market highs last week had a bit of actually closed a little bit higher on Wednesday at that 250, but that's a bit of a gap fill up there on Coinbase. So yeah, bullish market so far. I've only been in the one name, and I'm glad I'm not in that Tesla long. I feel like you'd be, unless you somehow magically pegged 327, which wasn't a big price, you could only be in trouble on Tesla. Still double barrel red on this opening range. Let it settle down. Not as bullish as I would have thought.
Yeah, we're just slowly getting out of everything here as well. So I mean, as the market bounces around, like I said, man, if I could be here for the morning push and get this kind of response, then yeah, we're gonna do it every time. And I do have very small pieces left, man. For Palantir, I have about 20% left of PLTR. So we got a great out there at 144.50. We just took another out at 144 as it came back in again. And I have like less than 5% here on AMD. So as that goes, we'll have to wait to see where we end up on all of that. But we're done. You know, we've hit the goals, and I'm just proud that you guys have been here to see that, because hopefully you have hit some of your goals today as well. And if you want to level up your trading game with Prop XP, you can get up to 1 to 200 leverage and a static drawdown. Scroll the site and pick your challenge at propxp.com. Trade directly on their platform, sign up, try it for free, and start your trading journey. Enjoy rapid payouts and real human support. No bots. This is rated over 4.6 stars on Trustpilot. It's trusted by traders worldwide. And right now, you can get 50% off with code TraderTV. The link, of course, is in our description and right there on your screen. You can get that with TraderTV, code TraderTV, 50%. Get funded, be the trader you want to be over there at Prop XP. So we want to thank them directly for their support. But you know, no support needed for today, as today's trading has been hot fire, and we look to continue that through the rest of the day. We've got Sharif and Joe coming through for you guys on the midday. Neil and I here till now, till 11, and then back at 2 p.m. So yeah, man, we are really, really cruising. One of my better days here, just going 2 for 2. You know, in the money here on AMD, that big one. Let's check out what XOM is doing right now. We're 5 in the money on Palantir, but that's coming back a little bit as well. Yeah, so XOM, Randy, I know you're not going to be pleased with my call today. My call for XOM today was a short, but you're starting to go back up to the upside right here, and that's good, man. I mean, I'm not happy that there's some tension in the Middle East, but that started creating XOM to get back up there to the upside. And this is what we were looking at today, Randy, if we were breaking underneath this 112.50, but instead we're doing the other way around. We're holding this 112.50 right there with VWAP. So something to look at, XOM, if you are an oil trader. We like the stock. You liked it a little bit lower than this, of course, and there it goes to the upside. Let's just check out what oil's actually doing today, just to get a quick little look. So yeah, so a nice upside play. We do break through Friday's low right there, but bounce nicely off of that. So I was hearing that Russia's talking about Iran now with the United States, so more in discussion there. But Randy, this is the trade of the day. This is the one that's on the sticky note. We wrote it down. What does that say on the sticky note there, Palantir? 140 long, right? So right into there, we got the 140 long, and there it goes up to 145. It's a nice trade right there. It's the brisket trade. It's the brisket trade, as Randy likes to say right there. So nice move up, and we got even. I actually made much more on AMD as that's going up to the high of the day. This is also $4 in the money. So there it goes. Yeah, for sure. We're definitely going to be looking at some brisket right there. Nice move to the upside right there, up to $122 goes Advanced Micro Devices. Got a little bit nervous about this level because it was so key into here, but we just blew right through it. So there it goes, man. Top 2 trades. Leading the way for me today. And that's what it's supposed to do. When you make these kind of trades, and now you can go up 2 to 3 times kind of what your goal is, I think it was a good one. So we'll continue to support these plays. And there we go. Nice move for AMD and for Palantir. So, you know, boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah, boom goes the dynamite, everybody. The Nasdaq through the highs, everything pretty much breaking highs. I don't like the topping tail. I just got trailed on a micron here. I'm going to go back in off of the volume weighted average price. Took 18s and we took the thirds, both times taking some out at the 15 level, then getting the 50 level, I should say, then getting out at the 19. Going to go to trend this one to the upside. It's been a nice, gentle trend on Micron that looks like it's breaking out, so I want to try to respect it. I'm into IBIT off the pre-market lows, so that's the first time we're in something else, something a little bit different. It just kind of wicked the bottom on the 15-minute, and we'll probably, if we close this green and can establish a trend, I think it's a place that we could add back at that 50, but I'd like to see us close green on the 15-minute because it's not blasting the way the overall market is. And man, I can't tell you what's going on with Tesla other than if your plan of action is you're thinking pretty bullish on a stock and it starts doing this at the open, all you can do is back off a little bit. Tesla's still looking pretty unhealthy right now. There's just no reason to fight this thing. It's not getting down to 323. You're not holding above the 330 level yet. I would have liked to see it break out 330 and then maybe work some longs in there, but yeah, you got to have to wait for this 323 area right now. And I see the SPY, I see them for sure, but I don't know necessarily. SPY's up to the top, breaking out. The Nasdaq is breaking out, and I saw a couple of people put this one in the chat. I'm not sure why CrowdStrike is red on a day like today. If there is news on this one, it's not a stock that I would expect to be down when the market is breaking out. But I don't have any story or any idea what's going on there. I did have a look on CoreWeave, but as I said, it's one thing at the open to just, to short it off the 150 level. But when it tanks $6 and goes right back, I get a little bit skeptical about the short on the way back through. Okay, so that's a fail. It went right to 150 and then dipped into VWAP again, so you could have taken that 150 short. But I thought, why stand in front of the moving freight train? It's the longs that have been working. It's right back into that 150 level. So you don't see me in that short. I guess it would have worked out if we had taken it, but you got to make a judgment call there, and I didn't want to short a strong market. How many times have we seen that? Like, the market does that quick little dip and rip, V-shape, you try to short on the way back up, and you get yourself into trouble. So I'm staying away from that. We're just going to continue some scalping on IBIT and try and get that bid back on Micron at VWAP. That's what I like on a pullback. Pull right back into VWAP and keep the trend going to said upside. Adara?
So here with CrowdStrike, I'm not actually seeing any news to explain the drop. The only thing is this morning they announced apparently they're working with AWS for the security incident response program, which apparently is supposed to strengthen cyber resilience for Amazon customers. It's a press release. It's the only news I'm seeing on the stock. Nothing on social media either to explain this drop. But Snowflake, which is also in the cybersecurity space, looks kind of similar. Not as weak as CrowdStrike, but both kind of in that push to the downside. Zscaler, which has been the strongest in the sector as of late, is still looking strong. Back to you.
Snowflake too.
So thanks, Adara. So you can find, we just got posted up some Father's Day pictures here. You could also find right here what we're looking at right now: Palantir, Tesla, AMD, XOM. This is all on Meta. This was yesterday. So yesterday morning, here I am with our Red Sox. We got our third victory in 4 days. This is the High Park Red Sox. There's Gia and a bunch of players here as we do our little pregame warm-up here in the outfield. There it is right there. Great field, man. Grass field here at High Park. Incredible diamond. There's our bigger diamond in the back as well. So that's a little bit of a Little League situation. And then this was what we were doing in the middle of the day, grinding up here with some ribeyes. So shout out to Chef Joe and everybody else enjoying some steaks there, nicely cooking up on the Barbie. And then we end our and you can go follow me at Trader TV, Sean. We end our Father's Day with a nice little, there's my dog. There's Belle. Yo, what's up, Belle? Here's me with some little pajama pants on right here. And we had a really nice night with my kids, wife, and everything here, just chilling out, a little fire pit going on. It was really nice evening, and happy Father's Day. Oh, here's Belle again right there with G, and here's me. So there's two. This is the rep team, the white jerseys, and the red jerseys. Right here is our house league team. So yeah, lots of fun being had there. And then when you have good vibes and you come in, and sometimes you can also have great results with these trades. So that came in right here again. With trading. So good feels all around. We're now $5 almost in the money now with AMD. Before we go to Adara, here's SBET. Yeah, Iran's looking right now to de-escalate tensions, so that's going to be good. But right here, SBET, looking at this $12 mark. So we had talked about this story earlier. Nice fall back in, right into the 200 period moving average and the 50. Now you're trying to resist a drop through $11. So SBET right now trying to hold. Looks to me like it's pretty successful and could break through that $12 mark with SPET, but oh boy, are we going upside right now. This is a monster. We were long at 118. There's the breakthrough 120. There it goes, man. The dollar index also going to the downside right now, as hopefully some of these tensions do give up a little bit here in the Middle East. It sounds like we're starting to get that. Let's go see what Adara's up to.
Here's a report from the Wall Street Journal. Basically, they're saying that apparently Iran is interested in potentially de-escalating with Israel, but apparently one of their stipulations here is only if the USA stays out of the fight. So they're willing to resume talks here if the USA stays out of this, I guess, Iran-Israel situation. Also, just be aware here, I'm also seeing reports that Sefcovic, who is the EU's trade commissioner, is going to be meeting with Jameson Greer of the U.S., who is at the U.S. trade representative at G7 to talk trade and tariffs. So some EU and U.S. talks at the G7 to be expected here, guys. Back to you.
Yes, sir. And look, de-escalation, you hope it happens. Certainly going to continue to rally the markets as far as I'm concerned. Like, to me, it's just like an all arrows up situation there. We were already getting a bit of a dip buy regardless of that. So I think positive news can only help us in that regard. IBIT just got to the pre-market highs. Not that pre-market highs mean anything here. Why? Ours just turned on here at about 6:30. So it's a 24-hour market, but there is a bit of resistance. This is exactly at 107, so a bit of resistance at the 107 level. Want to play dips right back into the volume weighted average price where we got back in the first time. Let's continue rallying here. I haven't really checked too much about what's going on with our good friend, and I want to make sure I get it SRM, because technically, hey, they're a crypto-related play, Tron. Good luck with that. But it's back underneath the volume weighted average price. So this one looking a little bit tepid here. I don't have Tron up to know whether it's actually following that token in particular, but the only things I've been focused on are, is Tesla even going to show some strength, A? B, can I get back in at VWAP on IBIT for a reload? And Micron, after it just nicked 119.5, it's pulling right back into some prior highs. VWAP is a moving target, so I get off the bid here. It's probably going to test through 119. Let's see if we can pick this one back up on the volume weighted average price. K-Dub, shout out to you. HIMS, which Steve Tileman actually was saying on Friday, he absolutely loves HIMS. So I know that he's probably happy that this broke the 60 level or is trying to break the 60 level. I don't know if there's specific news with regards to HIMS, but another strong runner. It seems like pretty much everything is strong except Tesla. Adara?
Lots to watch out for today here in this market and also this week. We do have a shortened trading week, of course, but we do have the Fed meeting on Wednesday. So even though the week is short, there is no shortage of excitement. We are expecting the Fed to hold rates steady at this meeting. And here, we'll take a look here at the S&P 500. We just started a new 15-minute candle. We're already pushing today's high. Let's see if the S&P can take out this previous area of resistance around 603.80 going back to June 12th. That would be Thursday. Right now, we're about 30 cents or so away from that level. META had a really interesting pre-market catalyst here. Bloomberg reporting and then Meta actually confirming that it's going to consider or start offering here paid subscriptions and show ads on WhatsApp. Then we have TSLA, as mentioned earlier. This one did drop, but actually the positive catalyst. NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Association, announcing they're going to be easing some regulations for autonomous vehicles, which is certainly going to help the company as it prepares for its Cybercab release and launch. Last but not least, AIRO, one of many recent IPOs in watch here. This one got near its highs from Friday today, but unable to fully eclipse that level. Right now, trading around $30. Keep an eye on CRCL and CRWV as well. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara.
Thank you, Adara.
Oh, man. We're now $9 in the money in total. I mean, these stocks just continue. I mean, look at this AMD. Like, is anything stopping this name right now? Big trade there, bigger trade right there. Too bad we got a little nervous on the false break because it did go down to 119.50 there and gave some wicked opportunities right there. So the fake break. But wow, there goes Advanced Micro Devices. And, you know, again, we're now a few times the goal that we had set out for ourselves daily here. So there it goes, man. Just trying to show you that this kind of trading is possible. And there it goes right now to the upside. So we all have our strategies here. This is my only strategy is the stuff that I'm showing you because I do sometimes use different things on the pink sheets, but I really haven't been. The volume there, Fannie Mae's been okay, but I haven't had any trades today or anything like that. So the primary rate here goes boom right now with AMD. And I mean, there it goes, man. AMD, Palantir, like this. So right now, this is $5 from 118, and Palantir is $4 from 140. So, you know, we just get a great little tick up there. We've got a couple moves into 144 and change for Palantir. So far, so good there. MARA, Mara was on a little bit of a lookout earlier on, now going through $15. Now pulling back. Okay, so I guess it was just kind of I mean, again, until we sort of break the pre-market or something like that, there's really not much going on. So we'll have to wait to see if Mara gets, I mean, maybe $15 would be something interesting. I actually thought it was moving a little bit.
Miners are not doing
Yeah, I thought maybe it was moving a little bit more
MSTR
than
as
it
well,
was.
by the way.
Coinbase 250.
Not that MSTR is a miner, but
Correct.
MicroStrategy, I'm talking about the like just buy Bitcoin, because MSTR is red and heading lower and just not following the exuberance of the market whatsoever. Oddly enough, you're going to find GameStop, which is also getting into the crypto game, that's going in the other direction. Like, what a world. Apparently, they care a little bit more about buying Bitcoin, maybe with GME. So that looks like it's a little bit better. I just took out another leg on IBIT as we just kind of wicked the 61. We're holding above 107. There hasn't been a dip back into the volume-weighted average price just yet. But let's try to let this one go. Now I want to see us break 61 and play into this 61.30 level for the next leg up. I'll be out in front of that level if we can get there. If we buy a dip, it's going to be likely the volume-weighted average price that I'm concerned about, and more or less nothing else. And you always want to find that relative strength and weakness. I'm not saying I'd short MSTR, but if you're trying to play something in the crypto space and it's not going, understand that after doing nothing, going sideways, you're getting a nice little upward trend here. And if even GameStop can go up, you'd think that MicroStrategy would be a little bit better. I just want to circle back, if I can, to Tesla. It's trying to hold now a double bottom at 327. So this is looking a little better for Tesla. Super strong market. I'd like to see this one finally breaking this trend with the double bottom in here. I think a nice close above the volume-weighted average price gives a chance for Tesla to start to look like a long for the first time this morning. I mean, if you like the 27 level, you're fine, but that's not a level that I was looking for at all. So I want to see this get back above VWAP, break this recent trend that it's been in, and see if we can't get this into a 330 break on TSLA. If this can start to participate, I think it's a much nicer looking day for the market. It's one of the only stocks that was looking pretty weak that I was bullish on. And here it goes through 329. Close above VWAP, then I can engage.
All right, good talk. Good talk. Yeah, we've put some notes in the chat, guys, because I'm probably not going to risk too much here because, like I said, like this is what trading is, man. Hit the opportunities that you see, then look for others. So if there's other things coming through, then we're going to do that. But we do have
another one
right now because it's a little bit of a face slap, but we'll see what winds up happening with Marvell. Again, in a recent buy of ours, we put some money into this name, and let's see if it wants to work. We're long here, under $65 pre-earnings, the day before earnings. Just thought that they had a nice little run, sort of a nice opportunity to get going. We had bought it right here before earnings, which was right this candle here. Just saw like a nice little dip buy opportunity off of the 50-period moving average. Wanted to take a shot at it. We did it. It did go against us $5. So, now that we're in the money, $6, it's kind of like a wash to the risk to reward, but we're still pretty happy with what's been happening here with Marvell and looking for this break right there of $73. So we're going to look for that again. And talking about some new IPOs, CRWV right now, CoreWeave. Like I said, man, this was, for me, was never a short. Didn't look at it today as that. And there it goes, man, taking out the highs of the day. There goes CoreWeave. With its, this is what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to trade CoreWeave without a $3 or $4 stop. That's just, anyways, in my opinion, that's not how, you would trade this. But, it has a 40-cent spread right now. And there it goes, taking out the highs and probably getting up there on CoreWeave. As we'd sort of predicted this today, we only have long ideas on here. The other idea, of course, was shorting oil, but you could see that we didn't have to worry too much about that one. It's AMD long, and it's the Palantir long show. So that's really what's going down there. Sure, I mean, because I trade Tesla probably the most, we can have a quick look there. There it goes, breaking through 330. So that was a level there that I was looking at for Tesla was 330. May put some risk into this because, again, it's the level that I talked about. So might be something there. But as I heard Neil mentioning before, it wasn't really going like the rest of them. But still, up with the market. The market has now made back everything on the fight, on the war, I guess. Now being up 1.4%. I'm pretty sure that's what we were down there on Friday. We can obviously look at the chart. We did have a negative week last week. So, you know, there has to be some give back there. But Tesla right now, 330, definitely an interesting level. And yeah, I'm pretty cool with just sitting around here and talking about some other names that you guys may have. Joe's favorite stock these days, Robinhood, $75. That continues to move higher as well, man, up 3%. Oh, let me check in on that BS stock that I just bought, Bull, right here, down to 10.30. So, again, man, can't mention Marvell without mentioning Webull. I mean, these are two recent buys of mine. This one was at $11, so this one's getting slapped around a little bit right there, Webull. So we'll have to wait to see how low that one can go. I said my next buy probably in the $8 or $9 mark as our lights going off, but that's fine because we still have power on the money-making machines. But there it is right now, Voyager coming back in, a space defense name that we were looking at as a possible long-term buy for myself as well. So, yeah, would I consider reloading Palantir? Yeah, maybe. I mean, VWAP is right there. We're trying to dip buy into it just a little bit. I'll get something out here in the 50s again. It's been such a great run. Thanks for asking the question there. And like I said, like, it's good. It's 10:09. We have I'm going to go grab another coffee, get a water. Actually, I don't have an updated water here, so I'm going to go do that and then maybe have a look when we get back. But for me, it's just these two trades and you know, the P&L really flew on these, right? We got $4 right there on Palantir and then multiples of that here on AMD. So yeah, it's been two really great days, two really great trades. And then the Tesla's right here. So, I mean, 330, probably something I should consider taking right now. So just gonna think about it. 330 here for Tesla.
So just one thing, I guess this RGC's just halted right now. I'm going to make the assumption that this reverse split must have, because this was trading clearly at like 600 something. Now it looks like a reverse split, so up 240%. The tap is going to be 58. It's halted multiple times. It's hard to see because of this stupid wick. I'll have to get rid of that. But before halts in here, it looks like with a tap of 58. So I'm going to get this dip buy next. Is going to be IBIT coming right back into the volume weighted average price. So when we took that next leg out at 61, looks like it was the perfect timing. So we got our one look at the long, and when it's set up, just patience, right? Like if I want to play the long and above the prior day high, there's really only a few places I'm going to look. I'm going to look at VWAP, I'm going to look at the pre-market low. If it doesn't break the pre-market lows and give us that take into the previous high, then I'm going to get this little wick. Wait for it to confirm the uptrend by bouncing into a higher low, then grab the long. Similar thing here. As we pull back into VWAP, let it confirm that we're holding above with a higher low, then add back into the trade, back into the 61 level. It doesn't always work out perfectly because I didn't get back into Micron a third time in here. That never came all the way back into VWAP. It's only been these two names and just trying to stick within the plan, so to speak. Meta is... Every time someone says Meta is going crazy, it's not necessarily going crazy, but it is still back above that 700 level. And look where it dipped to. When that Meta story came out, now ultimately it wasn't part of my plan, but when the story hit about monetizing WhatsApp there, it was like, well, let it pull back into the prior high and go from there. Let it fill in the gap, bounce cleanly off of Friday's double top, and resuming the upward trend. That's what bull markets do. You know, they turn resistance into support, you play some higher lows, it's pretty much all you're going to need, and all we need is for Tesla, I mean, come on. Really, look at this, look at the pullback into the volume weighted average price here on Tesla. Close this at VWAP, you've got to be kidding me. Just when Tesla was looking really strong, you get this heavy candle back into the volume weighted average price. Not necessarily ideal. I am getting into IBIT for a reload, so you'll see my price change on IBIT. That's just because I'm buying that one off the volume weighted average price. And let's see what Tesla can do with that same thing in here. David Betts, we have talked about Circle. And ultimately, you know, you're going to talk mostly about the stocks that you're trading. I try to go over, I've only been in two things, so I can go back and forth, update you on the plan with what I'm doing with the trade, but then you got to come back and look at some other names. Circle, I'm not touching it up here. I think for a long, you really wanted it through the open break or holding a volume weighted average price. The wicks right now, like $5, $6 candles back and forth. So if it can start to consolidate a little bit tighter, I think that gives you a better entry. Suffice to say, it's just ripping faces off if you're trying to short this. And we warned about anybody trying to short this name. There'll be a moment for Circle when eventually it catches some kind of a real downward trend or does a significant pullback, but it's in the rip faces off mode and just not something you want to get in the way of, I think, at this current moment. Adara?
And I hear an MVIS. This one is a small cap at a 22% short float. Not seeing any news on Microvision, but keep an eye on this one. We do have our small cap recap coming about in 5 minutes. We'll cover some different tickers then, but MVIS at day's highs, no catalyst, could be on watch. Back to you.
Yeah, there's a familiar name. We know a little bit about MVIS, but just quickly, the bounce on IBIT just happened off the volume-weighted average price. We'll take some out halfway to 60.85. See if we can't get a couple of tests here. The volume-weighted average price, it's a strong-looking trend over here in IBIT, so just want to try to keep it simple, right? Like if we don't get the first dip, we buy the second, third on trend. I still like VWAP in general, but if we make a play at the high in a 61, then the next dip, I want to look for it to hold the trend line. Allow it to come in. You can wick underneath the trend line and hold. I care about where it closes the bar. But that's what I want to try to do here. You're just going rally to the upside. It's been a strong one. Power the markets up as we speak. And a lot of the names that you would expect to be leading this charge are doing exactly that. Nasdaq through the highs. I just saw someone in the chat saying Amazon looking incredibly strong. Yeah, this is what you want. I mean, regardless of what you were bullish on, there were so many opportunities this morning. You could have said Amazon back into prior close. That would have been dead on. Really nothing against that stock. I do like Meta a little bit more, but it doesn't really make a difference at this particular point. The one name that looks a little bit skittish, just as I looked at this chart, was Apple, for whatever reason. It's strong, don't get me wrong. I mean, the longs are still working out here, but yeah, pulling right back in with a bit of a topping tail candle is Apple. But yeah, we're still looking overly constructive on this market. I just can't seem to get back into Micron, but IBIT at least gave us that dip buy.
Yeah, overly constructive. Oh, right. Right there. Now $6 up from the low on advanced micro devices. So, all right. So what else we want to do? Mara, Palantir. I'm just trying to see what's going on. Let's have a quick look at our hot list here, brought to you by eSignal. All right. So AMD. Geez, who would have thought AMD would have been hot today? There goes AMD, SOX L, SOX S, so we can have a quick look there. SPY, Tesla. This is just a trade rate monitor, so it's going to tell me sort of what's popping off. So just so you guys know, I have about 12 or 13% left of Palantir, so I'm going to get out one more piece here because it is falling back down, but it's such a small, we just broke VWAP, so noticing that, let's take out something else. There, now we have 5% left of our Palantir position, and we still have I don't even want to tell, it's a small amount of AMD, but still, the amount that this is even up, like I should have kept what we had punched long at 120 there. That was so silly. All right, Qubit, nice move up to upside today as well for QUBT. So the quantum names continue to be hot fire. One more time there. So nice move up there for QUBT. Looking to take out this $20 mark. I mean, we had been here before, and now good move up today. Straight fire, up 15% for QUBT. Palantir's hitting on here. Anything else happening? I'm just keeping this on here so we can see if any other names. Marvell. Let's go, man. This one's a good one there. I don't know, maybe we'll take something out on Marvell at some point today as that continues to go higher there as well. Oklo, right back up to $70. I mean, we've talked about how much we've liked the nuclear names. We're still in SMR. We've been getting out of SMR, but wow, $44. This was an $8 name or something there. We bought it at 11 or 12, but there it goes right there. The only problem for me right now would be Webull, but I'm not worried about that. Like I've had to sit, we're 30% in the money on SoFi, and I had to sit in that one for like 5 years. So that's fine. We'll wait for that to go. There's Big Bear AI. Okay, Big Bear AI, now at $4. So that name, again, we're almost flat on this. We're stuck at 420, not purposely done there at all. But we will do Weed Batman. This is one of my favorite. I mean, this is why we sort of started with all of these bangs, boom, pow, awesome, oh my gods, things like that. Because I was like, you know what, that Adam West Batman, we really love that one. So we got Weed Batman coming through there. But there goes BBAI breaking upside right now as well. Department of Defense name here as well. Talking about, there's nothing being talked about today. Wait till there is. If you think there's some news with Big Bear AI, then you're going to see that name go, and that's what we're waiting for. Rigetti up 6 and a bit today as well. RGTI, that name's starting to go. Well, SBET we've already talked about. That's up here right now as well. Look at Rigetti hanging out near the high. Everything is near the highs. What a great day for the Nasdaq. If you sold on Friday because you were worried about war times, I'm sorry, but that was not the right play, it appears to be. Amazon up 1% as well. So I don't really, there's XLE. I guess we could have a quick look over there. We were, the only short idea that we had all day, and I'm glad we stayed away from it, was oil. And it's, again, XLE is not doing a whole heck of a lot there.
That's down.
Yeah, and the only trade that hit that we could have taken, and I'm not on Tesla right now, but we have Tesla written down here as at 330 long. So let's just have a quick look. I haven't looked at that in 10 minutes because I went to go get a drink. But all right, so there it is right now. Tesla 330, not really doing anything. And all I got to say is after a day like today, cheers up to everybody, man. Hydration Nation. Stay hydrated the best you can, especially in these warm days, especially if you're working out or anything like that. Make sure you do stay there. Disney's a rocket. Good. We didn't sell any of that.
The travel names are obviously, well, Disney's also other things, but the travel names are looking really, really good today. Like CCL, which was a big time down move. You're going to see the obvious, look, let's be real. The first thing that happens when you have double barrel action like this, because this goes beyond just what was going on in the Middle East. You also had, of course, the unfortunate Boeing crash, which shocked some of those travel stocks. But they're just essentially filling in the entirety of the gap right back in. I think Disney gets a lot of that benefit as well. So good look here for Disney. There you go. Breaking out. I think this is, there you go. Yeah, I was about to say, I think this is approaching that top from last week, and it is. 120.5 looking pretty strong in there for Disney. The only thing the only new trade really has been one that's not new. It was just to bind the dip into VWAP on IBIT. It's now trying to run the highs one more time. Let's go back to Adara, because I know you guys are looking at some small cappers, and it's 10:20. So we'll give you the small cap recap.
There are actually quite a few of these on watch today, so I'm not going to be able to cover all of them, but we're going to give you a healthy dose of these small cap movers that are happening so far this morning. You can check out the midday show at 11 a.m. I'm sure Sharif will cover more of these. We have the IWM here, Russell 2000, up 1.2%. Nice push here. Nothing but green 15-minute candles here, except for a bit of a drop off the open. Definitely establishing a little bit of support around that 209.73 level. Let's see if we can take out Friday's resistance around I guess 211.43. We're basically there right now. Here's CRML, our first of these small cap movers today. Critical Metals announcing that they secured $120 million from non-dilutive funding letters of interest here from the U.S. Import-Export Bank. It's a good look here for CRML. We know some of these critical minerals and metals plays have been on watch. Here's CTLP. This is Cantaloupe Inc. to be acquired by 365 retail markets in a $848 million all-cash deal. Last but not least, SONM. This one was covered earlier on in the day. Sonam Technologies receiving an unsolicited indication of interest from Doogie to acquire the company for $3.60 per share in cash. Right now, the stock's trading around just above $2, so good look here for SONM should that deal come through. It is below the pre-market high, however. Make sure to like and subscribe as we send you back to the guys.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't think they're anticipating that SONM is going to get firmed if it's priced that far away from the offer they got. Remember, if something is unsolicited, the way that deals work is by the time it gets announced as like this is companies getting bought by the other, usually the board's already sort of approved the offer, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't think it automatically has to trade at 360, but that gets, you always like to see a little bit of room between what someone is willing to pay for it and where the current stock price is. If this closes above 180, that becomes interesting for a little bit of a sneaky or cheeky swing. But I want to read up on what's going on with that offer and the likelihood of bigger shareholders maybe inside liking it or not, because that could be a big one when you look at where it's trading, at least currently. All right, Tesla, we just went over Tesla, so that's absolutely fine. I'm going to go back over and maybe talk, like NVIDIA is doing what everything else is doing, but every time I look over, it seems like the market's at that high and it's dipping just a little bit. So this pulls back into VWAP. I want to try and get, like I said, I want to get back into Micron, Opening range top was 119. This dip could give us that chance because VWAP sits at 119 and it found some support there before. So if NVIDIA is trying to drag things down with it, that can be an opportunity here to maybe get back into some Micron, which is gone, like just about everything else. Harman, HIMS is an absolute rocket. It's having trouble at the $60 level. And if I was looking to short this name, it certainly would be a little bit higher than where it is. It feels like it's got a lot more room than just this 60, but it is a resistance level from last week. I think if it can chew through that, you got some more room to the upside on HIMS. That's one more I'll keep an eye on and want to see if it can pull back, maybe VWAP at lunchtime. But I'm going to stay away for now and stick to the two names that have worked so far here today. Dara, news?
On Alibaba and Apple. Apparently, Alibaba released a statement saying that it's launching its new Qwen 3 AI models for Apple's MLX framework. So we know Apple and Alibaba have been reportedly in talks for a while. It looks like Alibaba has officially launched its new Qwen 3 AI models for Apple's MLX framework. Keep an eye on AAPL and BABA as we send you back to the guys.
All right, thanks, Adara. As Neil's saying, a lot of these stocks going up, but there's only one stock acting unlike anything else right now, AMD, now up 7.5%. I did not, it was a month. Like, if we just held these shares right there at 120, it's a whole month worth of a trade. But we didn't exactly do that. It goes all the way up to 125 right there. So it's too bad. Like, there's no way I would have held them all, but that's a whole month right there of victory. But what are you going to do? There's 125 right here, big time on AMD. You can just kiss that goodbye, and then we'll watch to see how far this one wants to fly from there. I have about under 5% from this trade right there left on advanced micro devices. But the thing that I keep going back to is that it's not, and this is why it doesn't really matter, because we all know that the different share sizes are here, right? That we all trade differently. It's about the process that's built in. It's up to you to put on how many shares you want. So like, this could have been a 10 share trade, 500 share trade, a 5,000 share trade. You know, it's just a matter of the process, getting it down there, and that's where we stem from the note, right? I just try to write down the best names that I think, and it's up to you to figure this all out. But what it is also up to here is, we talked about trade the pool. And if you do scan that QR code, that's right there. It's one for all, the new trading competition from Trade the Pool. It's never been done before. Everyone will be trading together on one shared account with $1 million in buying power. This all starts right now, June the 16th to the 18th. The goal is beat the Qs. For example, if the Qs move 3% up or down, we aim for more. And what's in it for you? Everyone wins, plus over $675,000 in prizes. 20 evaluation accounts up for grabs, one account, one mission, one for all. Scan the QR code to join right now. And if you adjust, like I had said, if we were just using one note today for that Trade the Pool, and you had either one of these ones, I think you would have been pretty happy. There goes AMD right now. There is absolutely no stopping this name to the upside. And the other name that we had missed was Tesla, but that's 330, and that's right here, right now. So I don't feel any kind of ways about missing Tesla. It's not doing too much. So far, it's the AMD show. It's iBit trying to go upside right now. I see Neil has that. And then Palantir trying to fade out a little bit here as well. So yeah, man, I mean, it's just these names. It's Trade the Pool. Make sure you do scan that. Marvell is the other one that's not like us right now. Marvell up 5% as well. So it's Marvell and AMD leading the chip names. Broadcom is back to 250, so I like that. But again, that's flat on the day, only up 0.5. We can check out what Micron is. Yeah, Micron again, pretty good, but did pull back into 118.20, so it only went $1. So again, not the $8 or whatever that AMD for some reason's going. And then XOM right now, wow, that was the only call that we had on here was between 112 to 112.50 on XOM. So if you were able to hold that, I think you probably would have got stopped out breaking through 113. But here we go, nice downside play here again in XOM. So Yeah, I mean, it's been a really good day. We got a reload here, got some water, got ready to go. We just went over a bunch of different names for you: lower caps, small caps, Oklos, circles of this world. We had looked and said no to CoreWeave short. Doesn't mean it's not in though. Watch out for CoreWeave. Had a hard time going through. So watch out for that 152 as maybe a short, but oh boy, man, this is now $7 from the bottom as AMD just continues to climb higher and higher. In what was once one of Sharif's favorite names when he used to go AMD. And he still does it. And
anybody that was bearish on that one last week, I feel bad for you if you were sleeping on AMD.
Yeah, I mean, AMD last week was actually a bearish play, but that's why today we actually, as long as you got out of it, I mean, last week AMD had 3 straight down days.
Well, because it basically tagged the 200 SMA.
Yeah, and that was a great short right there. So that was, bearish last week. Was absolutely fantastic. And then today, as you guys can see, man, and again, it's not, like definitely the least smartest of all of the hosts, but we've got all of these plays every day. Palantir, AMD, there it is right there. So, I don't like to look back, I look forward. There's AMD, there's the 120 long, man. We hit the 118 long and the 120 long. So this is the thing about day trading, and Neil's right. It's like what happens last week is last week, and then you gotta have, enough sort of ability to flip up your opinion on the stock. I still don't love the stock. I mean, I bought Marvell instead of it, but AMD today up 8% upgrade, and then that's it. We're everything else. The new product advancements were announced last week, and this is what happened when they announced them. So right there, a nice upgrade, and they're definitely on the back of AMD today. So ciao as we continue to go upside right there. Now Marissa's messaging me about Cirque du Soleil. So she was obviously watching the show. I love you, my wife. Tickets are $98 if we pull them out of school on Thursday.
On Thursday?
So maybe we'll do that.
Honestly, it's a ton of fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're trying to do that.
It's not like you can't sit anywhere. I would sit a little bit different. I wouldn't sit where we sat last time.
No?
You got to pull your kids out of school. Yeah. It's experiences, man.
Come on, man. School is absolutely worthless.
There are situations where, like, if you're
they go every day.
If you're in high school and you've got important courses for university and whatnot. Maybe you're in like grade 11, grade 12, a couple of years from university. You got like a big test or whatever. I can get that from a certain standpoint, but unless my daughter's like, no, there's something that day that I really don't want to miss because the class is doing this or that. It's just a day, and you gotta build the memories, man. Like this school's not going anywhere.
There's no way. I mean, if Joe can remember a random day when he was in grade 8 on a Thursday, then congratulations to this guy over here.
That one time in the lunchroom
maybe that's
when Joey had to throw bows at someone.
Yeah, I think someone might have offered him pie that day, and
that would do it.
That maybe is what he was referring to. So
you gotta
shout out to Joey Ice over there.
Memories,
all right, so right now it's 10:30. Talk about Joey Ice. We're going to talk about Joey Crypto right now with Adara.
Before I do that, we have to mention G7. Apparently, there's a draft statement showing that G7 leaders have drafted this joint statement, I guess, on Iran and Israel conflict. Apparently, they're calling on Iran and Israel to de-escalate the conflict and avoid compromising regional stability. Apparently, though, from what I'm seeing, Donald Trump has not signed off on this statement. So Trump and the U.S. have apparently not signed off on this G7 joint statement as of yet. Just be aware it is out, and the Nasdaq is at all-time highs. Keep an eye as well to transition a little bit here to crypto. DJT on watch. So we've heard this company's really trying to get more into the crypto space. Apparently, Truth Social has filed for dual Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF here. That's going to be, I guess they filed here with the S1 with the SEC. This joint ETF is going to be allocating 75% to Bitcoin and 25% to Ether. Crypto.com is going to serve as the custodian and liquidity provider for this ETF. I'm not seeing a ticker yet here for this one. I'm going to keep an eye on that. But keep an eye here. Joint Ethereum and Bitcoin ETF for DJT. Here's Bitcoin. Nice look here. Looks like a slightly higher low made as of this bounce we had on Friday the 13th, just above that 102.5 level. Right now, trading nicely above that 107,000 level. We still have a lower high in the daily chart to contend with as well. So let's see if we're able to shake this out, push past that lower high, and make new all-time highs above 112,000. Bitcoin up about 2%. Ethereum back above 2,600, up about 4%. XRP up about 4%. Solana 5% to the upside. Cardano, Tron, and Doge up a little bit less here, about 2%. So slightly mixed trading here, but generally these crypto names are all to the upside. Back to you.
Agreed. Although I would say if you're going to try to make, I mean, DJT, they're going into the fintech space and crypto is a big story. The fact that they're breaking through those lows, it's kind of like MSTR. Like, know what you're getting into and know where the strength is. It doesn't lie in DJT today. Like, this actually still breaking down for such a strong day and for a lot of positive crypto news. It's kind of taking it on the chin relative to the market here in DJT. Whereas IBIT's just continuing to break out. It just made 107.5. Got to start thinking. I'm going to show you the Bitcoin chart here. Can it make a run at 108, which go right back into last Thursday? There was a rejection of this 108. It's kind of a head and shoulders. I'll zoom it in so you can see a bit of a head and shoulders, a lower shoulder here at the 108 level. That's the next target, whatever that works out to on IBIT. I have the chart up to see if we can't get there. A strong day overall for sure. Micron, still hasn't pulled back into 119 in the volume weighted average price just yet. See if we can't resume that uptrend to the upside. And yeah, like just looking for for another opportunity. I mean, I keep looking up at Tesla and not really in love with it just yet. Hasn't really blown through the open range top. It's holding the volume weighted average price, but it doesn't really look all that good when you consider overhead resistance. Bit of a trend break. I think if you're already in at VWAP, great. I'd like to not buy it up at 310. I was wanting a consolidation at VWAP or something a little bit more clean to get into that long. Thank you so much, Carsal. Appreciate the super chat in here. Decided to come back for Circle IPO. Got a couple thousand shares, sub 50. That'll work. These calls last week. Circle the next MSTR. I don't know about it being the next MSTR. It's obviously something completely different. And I don't know that MSTR has done anything quite as crazy in the short time span that Circle has. What I can tell you is right now, shorts are getting absolutely run over on Circle, and it's just stair-stepping it to the upside. And what it did last time is important. Like when it broke out after the IPO, it pulled right back into the prior high. It's a new breakout back here. It wouldn't surprise me if there is ever a pullback that it could get back to the 140 level, or whatever high gets established on this move, look for that to put in some kind of a reversal candle and then look for the next even dollar level to try to buy that dip. Circle, rocket ship, good on you if you've got it. It's giving you one shot at VWAP. You cross your fingers, maybe you get another one here today. I think that's where you try to pick up that long. But IBIT flying. Well, Micron's about to break the 120, so we didn't get that dip buy. Thankfully, we were able to get that Micron. And shout out to anyone trading that HIMS, as we mentioned. Seems like it's got room to those mid-60s on that daily chart, and another breakout for HIMS, up now 10%. Unbelievable move. Unbelievable moves here today. You got to love it. It's all green. There hasn't been a red candle on the 15-minute on either the ES or the Nasdaq. Pretty much everything's strong.
All right. Okay, so just quickly here. I was thinking about tapping some more out here on AMD, but it's just up right there. So let's check out what's going on with Rivian. I mean, we've been looking at some Tesla. Oh, well, Rivian's getting, man. Knew this one was a sell up top. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't really have to make any decisions up there because it never got there. But I mean, would love to have it get back to the upside as Rivian's been falling for the last month or so, right there. That looks like about 20 trading days. So got as high as 17 and then fell right back again. So that was a pretty big opportunity missed. Like I said, we had an opportunity to get something out up top there, and then this happened. So, you know, not proper trading there if you're trading on support and resistance, because it comes right into those levels again, Rivian, and absolutely falls off a cliff there, it seems like anyways, RIVN, right back into the 200 period. There is an opportunity, I think, to buy this name, maybe even right now. I mean, this is not a horrible level. Back to the 50 period, whenever those kind of moves happen, I do not mind them at all. So that's something that we'll look at there coming in again for now. So that would be one play there. I did want to have a quick look. Let's just see what that SRM is doing. That was not a call for anybody. Oh, Oh, okay. SRM right here, just hovering around $5. So we'll have a quick look over there as well. But it's kind of got a little dead. And then SBET, some of the oops, that's Blue Ocean. SBET's on Blue Ocean, okay. Right there, SBET, 1365. I got to do some more research about what stocks are even available on Blue Ocean. Is it all of them? Like, there's 1350 break high right now on SPET. We actually talked about this when we saw a resistance level there, or a support level, I guess, at $11 when we talked about the 50-period moving average. And I was like, yeah, it looks like it's going to probably go up there and break 12. Well, not only did it break 12, and again, should have had this one, so stupid. Comes back in, hits VWAP, hits the 50, cannot break it. So really, upside from there, wait for it to break through 12. If you had punched the break of 12, it would have only gone against you. I guess that wick goes down to 70s, but that might have stopped you out, but boom, right there, upside. I'd like to see it pull back one more time, then go through the upside once again. But for right now, SPET looks like it's cooking, man. That $12 was definitely a good spot there for SPET.
Yeah, shout out to SPT, which I promise you, stock like that would have been lighting up almost every single volume scanner on eSignal, and you could have found that out with the first month free if you check out eSignal. Still waiving fees, trade smarter, not harder. It's not just about scanners so that you can find intraday moving charts. You can also look at indicators to set up strategies. You can trade directly through the platform on multiple brokers. You can tailor your experience to your style, your setups, highly customizable, very reliable quotes as well, all in one spot, back test, forward test, use API to automate your trades if that's what you want to do. It's an entitlement-based system, so you get what you want, you can throw the rest out, you can have your level 2 access right there so you can see the book on UNH, because that's what I happen to have up right now. Not sure why, but UNH is trying to catch a bid after kind of falling here. So eSignal, as I said, 1 month free. So you can try it out and see if it works for you. No harm, no foul if it does not. Scan that QR code. Scan the QR code that was up in front. You can find the link in the description as well. So big shout out to eSignals. We appreciate them. Strong moves everywhere. But I do see we're getting, stay on target, very close to testing the Thursday highs on IBIT, which is the next target. 108 would be the level we're looking to press back into. So one more push up, I think we're going to be able to get to that. Let's go back to the desk with Adara.
Here is our sector watch for the day. We're going to start here with what's strong, which is a lot of sectors, understandably, day's highs for this market. Health technology looking good still. J&J and MRK slightly to the downside, though. Super non-durables, generally a pretty good look here. Consumer services, producer manufacturing, transportation, process industries, commercial, retail, trade, finance, bouncing back nicely after falling on that reported Amazon and Walmart stablecoin foray from Friday. Electronic technology and tech services all looking great. We'll talk about some of these names that are not as strong within these sectors. Oracle down about 1.5%. Day 3 earnings finally pushing a little bit lower after a really strong day 1 and day 2, and its best week since 2001. Then we have electronic technology, LMT here, pulling back a little bit. We know this one was really on watch on Friday with regards to these geopolitical issues, now down about 3%. Energy minerals, same boat. These were really strong on Friday as we had Iran and Israel escalating tensions. Now these ones are kind of pushing a little bit lower here. So energy minerals to the downside. Health services as well. UNH leading this group to the downside today. Back to you.
Yeah, UNH. Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, talk about UNH. I was just going to say, I just wrote in the chat, like, AMD is just silly right now. This is up $6 from the break of 120, and up now 8.5%. Also, AMD from that low, like, we got 118 right off the jump and was like, all right. And then we got that out $2. Then we punched the long again off the note, and there it goes, man. So this is just absolutely Rip City right now. Yeah, UNH has been a good one. We have to check out some Eli Lilly. Here's another name that just continues to want to work lately, but not today, Netflix. So if you're looking to maybe pick up some weakness somewhere, Netflix dropping back into 1,200 could be something to look at. We'd like those even dollar levels. You guys know that, hence the 120, hence the 140. Like, we're long 140 on Palantir. Like, that really got going upside there again. Someone said Palantir should do an offering up here. They don't need the cash to do that. So I don't expect them to have an offering, but you never know. I don't know if one's filed or not. They would have to do that. So I don't think that they're going to be dropping that anytime soon. But right there, Palantir, nice move to the upside. I'll look into that though, because that is possible.
Have they done one before?
I don't remember. They probably have. I don't know. Like I first bought this thing at $9. It went down to $7.
Seems curious why they would need to, though.
Yeah, no, someone just suggested.
The CoreWeave, maybe, because it's CoreWeave that's spending $23 billion on CapEx. It's right? It's CoreWeave. $23 billion a year on CapEx on revenues of $1 billion. Like that's, when I see a ratio like that, that makes me think, well, maybe they would capitalize on the stock price because they're spending oodles and oodles more money.
Lamb.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me. But anyways, I have no idea whether Palantir would or not. Again, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'm just a trader.
First Solar, Sunrun, all of those solar names last week that were super strong. Maybe not doing as much, but hey, they're not too bad. We talked about this last week on the aftermarket show, that if you continue this rally and hold the 200 period, this looks like a potential breakout trade. I guess that did not happen yet. It's barely holding the 200 period, kind of holding the top end. So far, I guess so good. I just saw a couple people in the chat mentioning that. All I was going to say with regard to UNH, because you saw that sector taking it on the chin. Ooh, we have a bad wick on that 15 minutes, so I can't really use that. All I was going to say about UNH is if you look at UNH since the dump on the daily, it has essentially just been gliding higher. First 290 held, then you got some higher lows at 300 holding. It's pulling back in, so if it can put in another higher low, it's just a very slow grind. It's when it can break 325, like this level, that it gets a little bit juicy. And I'm into it just for a shot play, and I want to basically took that long, giving it into that prior support down here at 280 and wanted into this 50-period moving average. But it's just a very slow grind to the upside. Selling because I think the space is just maybe relatively weak in here today, and that's pretty much it. One name that we haven't looked at, which it's only up 1% or less than 1%, and the market is screaming now 1.5%. It's Apple. Just can't seem to get going. On Friday, it couldn't break the $200 level. If there's a short in the mag, it feels like this might be the afternoon resistance play. I was thinking if it got to 200, that's like an obvious play. But yeah, if there is something that's relatively weak out in Mag 7 land that you're looking for a short on, it seems like Apple might be the one. I look at that double top and it kind of screams reversion as the market's starting to slow down a bit here at lunchtime. But for now, I just put a trailing stop in on IBIT because it's looking a little bit topish. If it loses this support, I'm going to jump out and wait for another shot at VWAP. That's about 61.15 as a trailing stop.
All right. I just want to look at some crypto. Soon we'll do what's for lunch. Okay, so let's just refresh this and have a quick little look to see what is moving around today. I'll try to zoom in just a little bit right here to give a quick look. So the current market cap of the whole space is 349, 3.49. The highest I've seen it is 3.54. So we'll keep looking at that. And that's just when I check it with you guys live on the show. So we're still pretty healthy. Right here as Bitcoin, you can see we've been tracking it all day. It right now up nicely today, I guess. 1% in the last hour, 2% today, 107. It's hard to look at all this, which is why we go through the 7-day and the 1 hour, just because of the different moves on some of these names. There's XRP. We really like that one, up 5% over here. We bought some at 230 and at 221 recently, so our average price in and around here a little bit lower than that, so that's been pretty good. Solana nicely cooking here today as well, up to $157. That's real good. We never want to see USDC moving, so that's good. Dogecoin right there, 18 cents. That's pretty bad. And the world of Tron right now not doing a whole heck of a lot, as we have SRM kind of wondering why maybe, why they chose this coin. You got to go in and find out more about Tron. I don't know anything about it. So that's moving around a little bit today as well, up 2.7%. My guy over here, Cardano, trying to figure out what's going on as well, only up 3%. Hyper liquid. I mean, if you want some liquid and you're pretty hyper about it, this might be the coin for you. So they're up 11%. The wrapped Ethereum, that's nothing, as well as Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash, remember when they spun that off? I got some of that in the account. That's nice. $471. Wow. Chainlink. Baxter was loving Chainlink at one point as well. I don't know if he's still
Chain wax.
In that. Yeah, he put that one on the chain wax. So, but really, you know, we're in a great mood today for all the reasons, right? A happy belated Father's Day to all of the fathers here at Trader TV Live and all of our crew out there watching. If you're able to do that, I hope you're able to spend it, you know, with the best family and had a great time doing that. So, but this is really, for me today, the coup de grace, now up $6 on our punch and post long, as AMD now up 8.7%. We're just getting lighter and lighter and lighter on absolutely all of these names. So as we continue to go, watch out now. The only name, again, off the list today that we didn't execute against was XOM, but that was a short idea. I think we could look back on it and it's right. And then Tesla, which we can look at in a minute. But here goes I know Neil's gonna look at it, so I'll leave it. But here goes Alibaba. Right now, good call out by Adara on the story with them in Apple. So if you're looking in that area, Alibaba right there, looks like they got some volume when Adara reported that. So thank you for that story. Made that move up through 116 right now. And yeah, I still have some Alibaba. I'm gonna have to find out where, but it's probably, well, we're buying lower, but we had an average price because we had bought this thing during COVID as well. It had a nice move down, but 116, 117, it looks like there is gonna be some supply up here between 117 and 118. I'd rather trade it in and around this gap fill, so that's 120. You know, it's the same reason, again, how we picked AMD. And why we came here talking AMD and Palantir today. I said to Neil, Palantir wasn't even on our rundown, and I'm like, this is my #1 play. And the #1 P&L name by far, I've only traded 2 plays, and AMD right now is about double or so how much we made on Palantir. So yeah, just having probably the best morning I've had in a while. I know I always say that, but we don't show P&L, so I have to tell you, that's what's happening right there. Palantir is coming back in, man. We have less than 5% left. Looking at a reload here at VWAP, and then the other one, Eli Lilly, I'm always checking out as well. That hasn't done a whole heck of a lot. 825, a key quarter mark there. In the price of, wow, I don't know, like honestly, this AMD is just getting to be ridiculously out of control right now. Now $7 now in the money on AMD. Like, you want to talk about what stocks are not like us, AMD right now up 9% and carrying the day here in the chip space. So congratulations to everybody that has this AMD trade. It was just rocketing, and again, a big name here at Trader TV Live. So, you know, big thumbs up to everybody that trusted that play and that wound up taking it. So, wow.
Yeah, great trade. I'm now out of IBIT. I told you guys I had a trailing stop, and I wanted to answer a question. Someone said, what is a trailing stop? There's no such thing as a bad question. The trailing stop in trading terms just basically means that you have a stop order, not to get out for a loss, like at the bottom, like I had a stop at this low, so if it breaks the bottom candle, then I just get out of position. A trailing stop just means the same thing, but you've done so in the money, right? So when I put a stop in here, like my stop on that rebuy was down underneath this bar at 60.62. I put a stop in at 61.15, and it just trails me out. The other way that you could use a trailing stop would be simply to say, like a percentage base from the high of the day. Stops work that way as well. And if it pulls back, say 1%, you could put a 1% stop from the high, a 0.5%. You could put it 20 cents. You put a notional value on it, like say 20 cents from the top. And then if it ever retraces that amount, then you get out. So it's just basically a stop order that gets you out of a position in the money, as opposed to like a stop order that would get you out of the money. So I'm looking for VWAP one more time, see if we can't get that one. Miami Dragon, the trailing stop works in either direction. Like it's just the nature of what type of stop order it is, whether you're in the money or out of the money, is really the only difference. So just a couple of things. I'm really just looking to get back into the same 2 names, and that's buy the dip into the volume weighted average price where we had them before. And that's all we're going to do. Like, just stick to the trend. Haven't had anything in the other direction. Oh, just one quick thing. Before we go up to Adara, I did want to go back over to this Tesla for a quick little second. And we're going to go to Adara for Money Talks. Tesla still desperately trying to put in another green candle above the volume weighted average price. This one just cannot seem to get going. Might take my first shot at it, close this one above VWAP, and not do something stupid where it just goes $2 on the first candle.
Oh my God.
And we can try to get into Tesla first time. Adara?
This US dollar is continuing to kind of look a bit like a flat bottom break here. We're really struggling to stay above that 98,000 level. Last time we were here, we had a little bit of a double bottom and bounce. That was in late April. Now we've got 1, 2, and now 3 candles bottoming here around that 97.6 area, slightly below the previous low, and with slightly lower highs to boot, although I guess Friday you could argue is a slightly higher high. Let's see what happens here with this DXY, but right now it does look like this is going to drop further and continue its slump after a very strong end to 2024. Now, let's talk about some of these Fed rate projections quickly. They're basically exactly the same, which is why I don't have it on screen. 99.9% of participants, so pretty much everybody, they're not expecting the Fed to lower or raise rates at this meeting that we have coming up on Wednesday. So in about, 48 hours from now, Fed Chair Jerome Powell and crew are going to release their newest, projections there. And also the Fed decision itself, we're expecting rates to remain the same. That also is the case for the July meeting. It comes through on the 30th. And again, with this meeting too, we're going to get, of course, our rate statement coming through, and as well these, I believe here we're going to be getting this summary of economic projections as well. So this could be a pretty interesting meeting. Definitely one to be aware of, so we can see not only what the Fed thinks right now, but what the Fed thinks moving forward. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Dara. We will wait for that Fed moment. Should be a relatively uneventful one, but we'll hear what he says, as we were just mentioning right there. And I just put it in the I just tweeted it out again. Like, I don't even know what is going on here with AMD, as we're going to be up 10% right now. Like, I wish I would have been able to. Like I said, it's a month. This is a month trade. If you just hold this 120 trade, all $7, like absolutely ridiculous. Not even a worry to have to get out. I think we've done really good holding as much as we can to the upside here and just taking it out. I am a slave to the P&L, and you guys already know that one. And we've done great with our newest segment, What's for Lunch. It's not that new. I guess it's been here for a minute, but today's menu was off for breakfast. So I don't know. We had cheese sandwiches, egg and cheese sandwiches today. It says roasted vegetable with quiche, roasted vegetable quiche. That didn't happen today. So nope. Today's lunch though, and again, we had a misprint on this before, because we had chili one time, and then we had it was mixed up with Thai basil, Thai beef. But today we'll see what's going on here. But it's showing beef bolognese. So I don't know. I've never really. It's always gone by the time it's ready for us. We get our salad. Maybe I'll post that up today as well. But beef bolognese with seasoned vegetables and a Caesar salad. We'll see if it's going to be accurate. We'll get back to you later on with what's for lunch for real. But hey, that's what it's showing. It's beef bolognese. Enjoy whatever lunch you're having. That's what's for lunch here at Trader TV Live. All right, so yeah. Those are those trades, man. We're almost off of here, so I don't know what else really to look at. We talked about Netflix moving around. We talked about Broadcom a little bit, not doing too much. I'm just trying to see what's going on the scanners. On the hot list again for yours truly, brought to you by eSignal. We've got AMD, Tesla, Palantir, NVIDIA. I mean, again, I like the Tesla. We marked it down at 230. I think we've been really good with that, or 330, sorry. We've been really good with that level. It's just, it's not like, it's just a level. It's sort of like a magnet in and around there. That's where the 50-period moving average is. The fact that the Nasdaq had a beautiful run today and Tesla really didn't makes me think it's a short, but we're gonna go, we're gonna do a little bit of a swim. We're gonna do what we gotta do, decompress a little bit and come back and have another look, because right now, man, I am just really happy, with the way we traded this morning, just having these two absolute bangers and ending up at a really good level for ourselves here today. So, couldn't be more pleased with everything. We did not have a look too much at Voyager today, or Circle, or CoreWeave, or any of those names, but they're down 4%. This is the funny one. I want to do some more work here, because with their current environment, I thought that they would have been a good name, to be honest.
There was also the AI.
Yeah, AIRO would be another one there. CRWV, of course, is. Oh, CoreWeave, I had the right symbol, just the wrong. Yeah, so there it is, man. I mean, I know you paid for shorts in this one, but for me, I don't want to short CoreWeave pretty much ever until it breaks this area right here, 135. So right now it's 155. We got close. I mean, it's nothing wrong with paying for shorts and always being ready for that kind of a trade. But like this morning, when I heard potential short for CoreWeave, I was passing on that. But we did have a 150.
Oh, it dropped clean right off the open.
Yeah, exactly. That 148 to 140, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it was a great move there. And then I always like to see about a 150, right? So right now, I think, yeah, we can re-engage in the CoreWeave short for sure. But today, it's going to have to be under 150, man. That's for sure. That's where VWAP is and the 200 period. So yeah, huge move early. Would have been interesting to see what the spread was there. It's much better now. When we had looked at it, it was about 70 cents or so. But again, you know, just trade down on your share size if you're looking for something like that. You don't have to be afraid of a bigger move in this if you have the proper share size. Then we're going to throw it to Neil in a second. But Meta also about to litter up your Instagram and Facebook are already littered, but about to litter up your WhatsApp group as well as they get you know, a nice move higher there. Oh boy, we wouldn't even be here if Sharif and I had still held those $100 longs in Meta, of course, right? I mean, same thing with me here. That would have been a great trade. 7x on Meta in 3 years or something like that. Talk about a market beater right there. We love Meta. Up to 704.50 goes META, absolutely flying. Maybe AMD's coming back in a little bit. Hearing that Robinhood is popping as well. I might just get out of this AMD. I got to get out of here soon anyways.
Yeah, just very quickly here, everybody, Robinhood is breaking out through the top here, 75, looking like it is going to go. Remember, overhead resistance at 78. And speaking of the head, everybody, look, each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. New York listed, NYSE listed, Ogen is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Ogen is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Scan that QR code you see in front of you if you want to learn more. Brain health is everything. I mean, obviously, it's cliche. It's obvious to say, but that Robinhood looking extremely strong on a breakout. I think this. I mean, I'd like for Tesla to have been clean and set something up that made sense to me. It just hasn't really done so. So while I sit on the bid, VWAP, I bid here. That's trying to break. It could break trend. I'm not shorting it on a trend break. But that could pull us back into VWAP for a dip buy. Instead, you've got Robinhood, which is breaking out on the 15. I don't know why we didn't long that outside of like 1 day in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, breaking the 75 level, kind of an obvious prior week resistance. Play dips back into that prior high, looking very, very good. So I'm still on the bid of IBIT and looking VWAP on Micron as well, both those two. The only two names I've traded here today, and thankfully so, because just haven't had a clean read on Tesla. It hasn't really looked all that great. I had Palantir for a little bit lower. It was the last name on my note, but I was looking for it to actually break underneath the prior high into this level for some reason at 139, but it went into exactly the prior day high. You know what's interesting about this is now that I look at it, it's 11 o'clock, but one of the other ways that you can play trend reversals is revert this pullback. The trend is upside, so when it trends down from a high, a strong stock, look for it to break that trend line, which it's about to do. So as we go into the midday show, yeah, I might go to name on my list, but breaking the downtrend to go back up on a 3-minute here in Palantir. Looks like it could do it in the next couple of bars, while we'll let Sean go over to the, well, I don't know if you're swimming or the gym.
Yeah, I'm gonna same place.
Okay, same place. Either way, get your workout in there. I know someone who makes sure they get theirs in every single day. Both of them, the Bash brothers, they're locked and loaded and ready to go. Sharif and Joey Options.
All right, good.
Go get them, boys.
Ooh, that was big.